Chapter 1100. Flames appeared on number one's feet as he stomped heavily on Li Fan, who was lying on the ground. Li Fan, who was supposed to be lying on the ground, stretched out his hand and grabbed number one's foot. What? Jiang Feng, who was prepared to watch the show, felt that something was wrong. A huge gust of wind erupted from Li Fan's palm, blowing number one's body away. Number one crashed heavily into the tower behind him, and his body was embedded in the tower. Li Fan leaped up, and his skin turned slightly red. A golden ring slowly condensed behind him. He stretched out his left hand and struck at Jiang Feng. A black and red qilin seemed to appear in the air and charged at Jiang Feng. Boom! Jiang Feng's body was directly sent flying. Qilin palm. The dual effects of ice and fire also erupted, tearing at Jiang Feng's body. He fell to the ground and spat out a large mouthful of blood. Li Fan didn't care about him. Taking advantage of his unparalleled mode, he held the true dragon hand with his right hand and pointed forward. A large amount of true qi condensed into sword shadows and descended from the sky. It was like a rain of swords landing in the crowd of clones. Bang, bang, bang. A large number of sword shadows tore at the clone's armor. Under Li Fan's strength, their bodies were constantly being torn apart, and very soon, they became fragmented. At least 30 to 40 clones were killed in an instant, and Li Fan's strength was also exhausted. He half knelt on the ground, panting slightly. Using unparalleled mode would indeed consume a large amount of his body and stamina. His 5 internal organs were slightly injured. Li Fan took out the rejuvenation pill and vitality pill and stuffed them into his mouth. The apothecary's good stuff was indeed very useful. After eating the 2 pills, Li Fan immediately recovered a lot. Jiang Fengfeng and Jiang Yuanyuan cooperated with each other, one defending and the other attacking. With the cooperation of the remaining experts of Sword Reliance, the clones were completely thrown off their armor. Jiang Feng struggled to stand up. There was blood at the corner of his mouth, and his body was crooked. What kind of technique is this? Jiang Feng wiped the blood at the corner of his mouth and looked at Li Fan. Wu Shuang. Li Fan said, "Do you want to learn? I can teach you." "Ha! I don't need your charity." Jiang Feng looked at Li Fan hatefully. "Li Fan, today I'm not as good as you, but next time I won't let you have it so easy." "Do you think you can escape?" Li Fan had no intention of letting Jiang Feng go. Clone, suicidal attack. Jiang Feng ordered, and the clones around him began to emit white steam. Their battle armors glowed a crimson red, as though they were ignited. These clones changed their direction and attacked Li Fan together. Oof. Li Fan assumed a fighting stance. Although he had already taken 2 types of pills, he still felt a little tired. At this time, Jiang Yuanyuan landed beside Li Fan. She showed off her beautiful figure, holding 2 fans as if she was dancing, wandering around Li Fan's left and right. A clone that pounced over was swept away by Jiang Yuanyuan's fan. Boom! This clone exploded in midair, setting off a huge energy that swept the surrounding air. The impact caused Li Fan to sway a little. Jiang Yuanyuan stood in front of him and used her fan to block this violent energy. "You're welcome, Mr. President." Jiang Yuanyuan winked at Li Fan. "Still, thank you very much." Li Fan couldn't do anything to this mischievous brat. "Mr. President, you can continue to recuperate. Leave this to me." Li Fan looked at the direction where Jiang Feng disappeared. This person probably hasn't reached the end of his lifespan yet. Almost all the remaining clones were used up, and number one was nowhere to be seen. He probably left with Jiang Feng. Number one should be considered a highly completed work. It was impossible for Jiang Feng to sacrifice him. They've finally been repelled. Luo Xiuwu was exhausted after repelling a few clones. She leaned on her sword and stood there, her long hair fluttering in the wind. "Sorry for frightening the Alliance Master." Zhang Xiaodian and Jin Qimo all knelt in front of Luo Xiuwu. "We will rebuild Yijian as soon as possible, strengthen the defense, and guard against the enemy." "Well, although I should let you guys recuperate first, the enemy in the dark is watching covetously. I don't know when they will attack again." She waved her hand. All the disciples of Aegean strengthened the defense of Snowy Mountain. As for Li Fan, I'm done here. I have to return to City G. Li Fan hurriedly said, I still have to go to university. You're already in this state, and you still have the mood to go to university. Jean Kumo couldn't help but ridicule. Shut up, Kumo. Luo Shiwu immediately reprimanded. How can you speak to Dharmaraja like this? Moreover, he saved us this time. Yes, this subordinate is wrong. Jean Kumo lowered his head. Not subordinate, we're sisters. Luo Shiwu stretched out her hand and gently pulled Jean Kumo up. Then, she pulled the other disciples of Aegean up one by one. You're all my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for fighting with me to the end. I'm willing to live and die with Aegean. Everyone said in unison. Then I'll go back to City G. If there's anything, you don't need to ask Jean Kumo to come here next time. Just give me a call. Idiot, the signal here was blocked before. Jean Kumo had just finished ridiculing, but when he saw Luo Shiwu's expression, he hurriedly said, I was rude. Please forgive me, Dharmaraja. Forget it. I didn't think of it. Li Fan gave him a reference. You can prepare a satellite phone so that nothing can go wrong. No matter where I am, I'll come as soon as I hear Alliance Master Luo's call. Then I'll thank Dharmaraja in advance. Aegean is really lucky to have you. Luo Shiwu maintained the necessary politeness. Li Fan thought she was angry, but from her eyes, he saw a trace of passion. This woman, she might be up to something again. No, I'd better leave quickly. Li Fan had a bad feeling about this. Everyone were going back. Li Fan called the satellite phone that the general gave him. Soon, a helicopter appeared above their heads. As Li Fan expected, the military was on standby nearby. They should also be monitoring Dragon Girl's safety. Dharmaraja can stay for one more day. Luo Shu looked at Li Fan, who was about to board the plane. I'll treat you well. Now that Aegean has so many things to do, it's better not to treat me well. Li Fan looked serious. I'm the Dharmaraja of Aegean, so I should be more careful for Aegean. I've decided in my own name to donate 100,000 yuan to Aegean. Dharmaraja, we appreciate your kindness, but we've already prepared the funds for the repair. Luo Shiwu smiled for the first time in so many days. Chapter 1101. Li Fan went back to City G awkwardly. On the way, the two sisters kept laughing at him. This pair of beautiful sisters, weren't they just exposed for being misers? What's so funny about that? Hey, 100,000 yuan is a lot, okay? I'm very poor. Li Fan emphasized. Yes, the president is so generous. Jiang Yuanyuan winked at Li Fan. I heard that you helped someone open a management company and took out more than 10 million yuan. Where did you hear that? Li Fan's expression became nervous. Doesn't the president know? We were also invited by our senior sister. Jiang Yuanyuan giggled. Senior sister said that the two of us can be developed into top-grade teenage flower idols. These two were quite good, but it was not good to reveal the company's secrets so early. You two don't understand. Business is business, and feelings are feelings. Li Fan said seriously, the 10 million yuan I invested in the management company was donated to Aegean. It's my private money. Private money? I heard that the management company invested 1 million yuan. Yuan, you can't say everything. Jiang Fongfong reminded her sister. The president will be embarrassed. You will let him find out that he is very stingy. Li Fan wanted to cry. These twins should not be cultivated as idols. They should be doing crosstalk. Do you really want to be idols? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. In this case, you will have less time to practice martial arts. It's hard to be an idol. You have a full schedule. It doesn't matter. We are young and energetic. Jiang Yuanyuan deliberately emphasized the word young. And a big star like Shun Shun is very handsome. And being an idol is much more interesting than being a martial artist. Don't you like being a martial artist? Yuanyuan doesn't like it. I'm fine. Jiang Fongfong took over the topic for the first time. After we graduate, one of us has to inherit father's Bagua school. So for the next few years, I want to go crazy with Yuanyuan. After graduation, I will take over the sect. Li Fan saw a sense of responsibility on Jiang Fangfang's face. She was an elder sister after all. Why should I take over the sect? Can't I just leave it to Big Brother? Jiang Yuanyuan grabbed her sister's hand. What are we worried about? Besides, isn't it your wish to be an idol? I remember when we were young, we used to play the role of a famous celebrity. Wasn't that when we were kids? Jiang Yuanyuan glanced at her sister. Moreover, the sect must not be handed over to that playboy. Playboy. Li Fan's passion for gossip burned brightly. This is a family matter. I won't tell the president. Even Jiang Yuanyuan refused to talk about this matter, so Li Fan didn't ask further. The Holy War plan is quite boring. Dragoness slept for half a day on the plane. She slowly woke up, seemingly because she was hungry. She stretched and then mumbled, "Just a few roasted chickens. I'm not even full." Didn't the 4 sacred beasts also participate in the Holy War plan? Li Fan asked. Why didn't they appear? Those few people can't be casually invited. Dragoness took out a bag of chips from the side. They probably think that eliminating a sect like Yi Jian doesn't require the power of the 4 sacred beasts. The 4 sacred beasts are very proud. I hope they can continue to be proud. Li Fan sighed. If the 4 of them appear at the same time, even I might not be able to handle them. Don't worry, the 4 of them are extremely proud. They will definitely not appear at the same time. Dragoness explained. If the 4 of them appear at the same time, it proves that the end of the world has arrived. The end of the world? Yes, the moment the 4 sacred beasts appear at the same time, it is the time to destroy the entire world. Dragoness nodded. Ever since the humans betrayed them, the 4 sacred beasts have always wanted to destroy all humans. Even after they were made into weapons by humans, they still did not forget about this point. The moment the 4 of them appear at the same time, it means that the sacred beast's heart has already affected them, and the world's destruction is imminent. You make it sound so serious. Li Fan shrugged. Then it's better if they don't appear at the same time. But to be honest, I still want to challenge the 4 of them at the same time. Speaking of which, you can take the initiative to defeat them. Dragoness seemed to have thought of something. If the 4 sacred beasts don't appear at the same time, they naturally won't stay together. In the Divine Land, they live on top of the 4 sacred towers. As long as we reach the sacred tower, we can summon these people and defeat them. That's not bad. Regarding the mysteries of China, Li Fan really wanted to study it in depth. What's not good about it? The 4 sacred tower is very hard to find. Dragoness rolled her eyes at Li Fan and continued to eat the chips. Moreover, in the 4 sacred tower, the power of the 4 sacred beasts is not restricted at all. They can unleash their power at will, and there is no time limit for the released power. Fuck, it's that abnormal. After listening, Li Fan was a little speechless. Of course, but there are also benefits. Dragoness dropped a good thing for Li Fan. After conquering a sacred tower, you can obtain the power of a sacred beast. Fuck, that's good. Li Fan did not know how many times he was shocked today. But after so many years, every generation's Shang Fong sword wanted to challenge the sacred tower, but they all failed. Dragoness recalled. Let me think. Wang Luo's previous generation's Shang Fong sword seemed to have gone to challenge the sacred tower after nurturing Wang Luo. In the end, he still hasn't returned. I guess he has long become a skeleton. What you said makes me even more interested. Li Fan licked his lips. After I settle the management company and dojo matters, I'll go challenge the 4 sacred tower. It's not impossible. Anyway, you're the Shang Fong sword. Whatever path you want to take, it's all up to you. If you die, I'll help you choose the next generation's Shang Fong sword. Then do you think I'm suitable to be the Shang Fong sword? Li Fan suddenly asked. You? Dragoness stopped eating for the first time and looked at Li Fan carefully. It was unknown what she was looking at. Blooming on my face. No, actually, your personality is exactly the same as the first generation's Shang Fong sword. Huh. Li Fan was indeed shocked this time. What do you mean? Before he could understand, the officer beside him saluted Li Fan. Major Li, we've arrived at G University. Chapter 11:02. Li Fan did not get an answer. After that, Dragon Girl did not mention it again, as if she had never mentioned it. Li Fan did not have a chance to ask clearly. He quickly got busy with the management company. The dojo was also running at the same time. However, the dojo needed some renovations and could not be completed in a short time. As for the management company, it was better. Lu Warner directly used her connections to rent a well-decorated office building. Right now, Lu Warner was pulling Li Fan to look at the office building. Spring River Road? Li Fan looked at both sides of the road and then looked at the tall building. This place is quite prosperous. Of course, many film companies are here. Lu Warner understood this very well. I specifically asked Jessica. She also recommended me to choose this place for the company. The important thing is not how prosperous this place is, but the culture here. I will definitely listen to you guys on this kind of thing. I don't really understand. Junior, do you know what you look like right now? Lu Warner giggled as she looked at Li Fan. Like what? Like a nouveau riche raising a child. Li Fan lowered his head to look at Dragon Girl, who was following him and constantly eating snacks. He wiped his cold sweat. I have no choice. I have to keep this child by my side at all times. Fortunately, you are still young. If you were a little more mature, you would be a weird uncle raising a lowly. Lu Warner held Li Fan's hand and gently leaned on him. If you have any thoughts, just vent them on me. Don't break the law. Go, what are you thinking? Li Fan could not help but gently pinch Lu Warner's cheek. It was soft and tender, and it felt good to the touch. When they were not in school, the two were openly showing off their love. Dragon Girl seemed to be very used to it. She turned a blind eye and continued to eat snacks, treating it as if she was watching a Korean drama. Speaking of which, I suddenly feel that you are very powerful. Lu Warner looked at Li Fan with bright eyes. How am I powerful? You have such a beautiful and outstanding female manager as your lover. Isn't that powerful? Yes, I'm quite powerful. Li Fan laughed. After all, to be able to endure such a cheeky little lover, not everyone can do it. You're asking for a beating. Lu Warner punched Li Fan angrily. Believe it or not, I'll break up with you. Really? Really? Do you want to have dinner together tonight? Come, I'll go to your place and clean it up. Your room is always so messy, boy. Lu Warner shook her head, as if regretting something. I'm a man. Do you think I can clean the house every day? Li Fan coughed dryly. I'm a busy man. You're too chauvinistic. Who says men can't clean? Lu Warner glanced at Li Fan. All right then, I'll clean it up. I'm just saying, let me do it. You're so clumsy, I don't want it. Li Fan was speechless. Why did this Lu Warner become so mischievous after falling in love with him? You're the general manager of a big company. You have to be steady. Big company? It's just started. Lu Warner acted like a spoiled child in Li Fan's arms. You're so arrogant. It will become a big company sooner or later. Li Fan hugged Lu Warner. Looking at his newly established company, he felt like he was in charge of the country. There's Shun Shun. She's a big shot. We'll eat her up. Ew. If Shun Shun knows about this, she'll be furious. She won't. She knows it. We're mutually beneficial. Li Fan thought for a moment. Let's go back and sign an 80-year contract. You want to squeeze her dry? Lu Warner laughed angrily. I'll complain to her later. All right. Let's not talk about her. Let's look at our company. Look at your smug face. Lu Warner tidied up her clothes. All right, I'll bring you in to take a look. With that, Lu Warner led Li Fan into the building. Office buildings were usually rented by many companies. Li Fan rented the 7th floor. Besides Li Fan's company, there were 3 other companies on this floor. The 2 of them went straight up to the 7th floor. After entering, they saw 4 signs hanging together. One of them had a familiar name, Phenomenal Entertainment Company. It looks pretty good. Looking at the white, gilded sign and the company's registered logo next to it, it was a little comfortable to look at. This is another one of your own designs, right? Looking at the logo surrounded by a golden dragon with an imperial sword in the middle, Li Fan could not help but ask. Yeah, I thought about it for a few days. In the end, I still think it suits you. Lu Warner's design had a meaning. Li Fan was indeed a little touched. It's my fortune to know you, senior. And it's good that you know. Lu Warner kissed Li Fan's cheek, then walked towards the company's glass door. There was already a beautiful girl sitting at the front desk. She was the person chosen by Lu Warner. I only chose a receptionist. There's also my manager, Jessica. With that, Lou Warner walked to the door. When the receptionist saw Lou Warner, she quickly opened the glass door, then stood up and bowed to Lou Warner. Director Lou. And at this moment, Lou Warner had completely lost the appearance of a delicate woman from before. She assumed the posture of a strong woman, but she was different from Morong-ing. She had a strong sense of approachability. Let me introduce you. This is our company's director, Li Fan. Hello, Director Li. The beautiful receptionist immediately bowed to Li Fan. She seemed to be a little nervous. No need to be so polite. Li Fan smiled. Work hard, little girl. I see that you have a lot of potential. Director Li and I will go in to take a look. Sort out the recruitment materials and send them to my office in a while. Yes. The little girl was obviously also an assistant. Lou Warner and Li Fan walked in together. Li Fan asked Dragon Girl to wait outside for a while. Dragon Girl was also obedient. As long as there was food, she would do anything. The little girl sat outside obediently and ate her snacks. Little girl. The receptionist looked at the little girl and was a little nervous. She kept thinking, who was this little girl? In the end, she couldn't help but walk over and squat down to ask Dragon Girl, who are you calling little girl? Dragon Girl rolled her eyes. I can even be your great-grandmother. The receptionist couldn't help but laugh. This little girl was quite mischievous. I see that you're almost out of snacks. What do you want to eat? I still have some. Really? Dragon Girl's eyes lit up. Chapter 1103. Inside, there was a long office with 10 desks temporarily placed inside. Currently, these are the desks left from the previous office. I think they are quite good and new. The most important thing is that they are cheap. As long as you think they are good. Li Fan looked at the staff office and felt that it was quite good. Are we looking for 10 people? More or less. 10 people at the beginning is enough. Lou Warner made a judgment at that time. If there are too many people, the tail will be too big. If there are too few people, we can't do anything. So for the 10 people, I've already thought of the division of labor for each person. Thank you for your hard work. Li Fan was very grateful to Lou Warner. This woman was indeed talented in business. He had really picked up a treasure. Today, you and I have a very important thing to do. Lou Warner took out her iPad. On it was the introduction sent by the front desk. Our current salary is calculated according to the most basic film company salary. It is impossible to directly poach mature employees with high salary. We can only recruit new people from the society. And you can arrange this. You want to be a hands-off boss? No way. Lou Warner giggled and said, it's already done. The recruitment will begin in a moment. You and I will interview together. You even dare to scheme against the boss. You've learned. Li Fan slapped Lou Warner's butt. Come, then let's hurry up and do some business. With that, Li Fan pushed Lou Warner down and pressed her on the desk. What are you doing? Lou Warner was shocked. I want to punish you. Spank your butt. Raise your butt higher. Oh, Lou Warner obediently listened. But then, her scream turned into a painful moan. Li Fan, you actually... Since the recruitment has not started, let's do some business first. But this is the office. If it's not the office, I won't do it. But what if Dragon Girl comes in? No, just now before I entered, I secretly told the front desk to bring Dragon Girl out to buy snacks. Li Fan grinned. You little rascal. Please call me boss. Li Fan slapped Lou Warner's buttocks, and the office was immediately filled with a lascivious atmosphere. The Dragon Lady was holding a large bag of sweet potato slices. The receptionist behind her was carrying several bags of snacks as she staggered in. So heavy. The receptionist had a bitter look on her face. She was obviously exhausted. This little girl actually bought so much. Fortunately, the boss said that no matter how much she bought, he would reimburse her. There's a mistake with one of the resumes. I'll go and check with Director Lou. Just as the receptionist was about to enter, Dragon Lady pulled her back. What's wrong? Is there anything else? The Dragoness said lazily, it's busy inside. Just wait for a while. What are you busy with? You are still young. You will understand when you grow up. The Dragoness picked up the iPad that Li Fan bought for her. She curled up on the sofa and continued to eat snacks while watching Korean dramas. The receptionist did not understand the situation, but the dragon lady insisted on not letting her in. She could only use the computer outside to send the documents to Lou Warner. Half an hour later, the office door finally opened. Lou Warner tidied her hair as she walked out. "How's the recruitment preparation going?" "It's almost time. They should be downstairs soon." "Okay, let them prepare here, and then let them in one by one." Lou Warner signaled to the receptionist. "Pay attention to the discipline here. Don't let anything go wrong." "Got it, Director Lou." "Dragon Lady, I can only let you wait for a while," Lou Warner said apologetically to the Dragon Lady. "It's fine. You do what you need to do." The Dragon Lady waved her hand. She had a lot of time. As long as she had snacks and Korean dramas, she could kill time. When Lou Warner returned to the office, Li Fan had already put on his pants and was sitting at the examiner's desk, looking at the documents in front of him. Many of them are fresh graduates. Li Fan said, "They don't have much experience." "Aren't we also university students?" "It doesn't matter if we don't have experience. We will slowly learn and gain experience." Lou Warner was very tolerant in this aspect. Moreover, letting them grow with the company will give them a sense of belonging. The most important thing is that fresh graduates have low wages. That's the main point. "I feel like you're more of a profiteer than me." "Not at all. You're the boss." "That's true. The boss will continue to punish you." "Go to hell. Stop messing around. They're almost here." Lou Warner lightly patted Li Fan, dispelling those messy thoughts of Li Fan. At this time, there was a knock on the door. It seemed that the applicant had arrived. "Come in." Lou Warner tidied up her hair and then officially started the interview. Soon, a fat man pushed the door open and entered. He wore a shabby suit and combed his hair back as he sat on the chair. His gaze fell on Lou Warner. His eyes suddenly lit up. "Hello, my name is DeLeon," the fat man said with a proud face. "I graduated from XX University of Science and Technology, a top university. You know that." "I saw it." Lou Warner looked at the information on the iPad. "The resume says that you just graduated this year and want to interview for the position of director. Your monthly salary requirement is more than 50,000 yuan, right?" "Yes, that's right." The fat man nodded, expressing his confirmation. "What advantage do you think you have to get such a high position and salary?" Lou Warner's face did not show any emotion. She just calmly asked, "I am a top student from XX University of Science and Technology." The fat man proudly said, "This is a top university in the country. I don't need to say more. You also know that a talent like me is exactly what your company needs. Moreover, I have always been a cadre in the society. After entering your company, I think the position of director will allow me to fully display my talent. Moreover, with my help, your company will definitely develop better and better and rise steadily. Now we need to design a concert plan. What should you do?" Lou Warner suddenly asked. "Of course we have to go on a national tour. Moreover, we have to invite some big stars as guests. We have to set a theme for the concert. Make it luxurious and classy. When the time comes, the concert tickets will naturally sell like hotcakes. Our company will definitely make a lot of money." "That's right." Lou Warner smiled. "But what if the starting capital is only 1 million yuan? How will you operate it?" Chapter 1104. Don't joke with me. How do I do it with 1 million? Fatty laughed. "It's written in the book that a concert would require at least tens of millions of startup funds. Even the cleverest housewife can't cook without rice." Student, do you think the company's operation will be completely based on what you read in the book? If the company only has 1 million to operate a concert, what would you do? Then I can only give up. It's simply impossible. The fatty kept waving his hand. Manager Lee, although you are not a professional, but if it were you, what would you do? Well, find a university and rent a stadium with the excuse of campus event. Li Fan thought for a moment. As long as we can use the school's culture as publicity, I think 1 million is enough to negotiate for this concert. Maybe we can even save more. Although the ticket price will be lower, we can raise the price for the public in addition to the school students. Good proposal. Thank you, Manager Lee. Lu Wan Air's mouth hung a proud smile, but it disappeared in a flash. She turned her head and calmly looked at the fatty. That's why I said that your education is useless to the company. You should train your foundation for a few more years, student. Humph. What the hell? The fatty was unhappy. A poor company with no money to hire employees. It's a waste of talent for a famous university graduate like me to stay in a company like yours. You can't pretend that you didn't hear that. Li Fan dug his ear and said, So what if you graduated from a famous university? Don't you still need to find a job? If you have the ability, why don't you let the big company look for you? What qualifications do you have to say that? Your company has just been established. I see that you're not that old. You relied on your family's money to open a company for fun? The fatty ridiculed Li Fan, but Li Fan laughed. Then I'm really sorry. My parents have never given me a penny. As for this company, I did open it myself. Not too much, not too little. I only invested a little more than 10 million. You can talk to me again when you can earn the same amount of money yourself. Okay, next. Li Fan asked the guest to leave. Fatty's face turned red. He cursed angrily and turned to leave. When he left, he even slammed the door. Is this the quality of graduates from famous universities? Li Fan sighed. This is too surprising. Not all of them. A small number of people are like that. He thinks highly of himself and is proud and arrogant. After all, he has never suffered a loss. Lu Wana laughed. Don't worry about him. There are still a lot of people to interview today. Let's look at the next one. Soon, the next interviewee walked in. This time, it was a young girl who was dressed fashionably. After sitting down, she did not forget to look at her own face in a small mirror. Student, aren't you going to introduce yourself? My name is Yongli. I'm 18 years old this year. I graduated from film school. The fashionable young lady constantly tidied up her makeup, and her whole temperament was like a proud little peacock. Well, according to the resume, you're interviewing for a makeup artist, right? Oh, that's one way to put it. The young lady smiled. I'm preparing to be a makeup artist while learning. After a year, I think I can debut and become a big star. I think our company is not bad. How about I sign with our company? Sorry, we are not short of artists now. Lu Warner immediately rejected. The company already has 3 signed artists. What we need is staff who wants to work behind the scenes. That's too boring. The young lady shook her head. I'm willing to grow with the company. Shouldn't you like this kind of employee? I'm sorry. We need people who are responsible for this profession. Since you have other intentions, please find a better job elsewhere. Forget it. It seems that we are not fated. After all, I will be a big star in the future. When I become famous, don't regret it. After saying that, she stood up to leave. But after taking 2 steps, she suddenly thought of something. She turned her head and asked, I remember the recruitment notice said that the travel expenses will be reimbursed. I came here in a luxury car. Is that okay? You can contact the front desk. Lu Warner had a good temper, but Li Fan was so angry that he wanted to laugh. This lady was really something. Interviewing 2 people made Li Fan unable to sit still. If he met more of these weirdos, he would go crazy. It's only 2, and you can't stand it? Lu Warner covered her mouth and chuckled. Opening a company, it's inevitable to meet these kinds of people. As the boss, you have to get used to it. Are you hungry? Do you want me to buy you something to eat? No, it's an interview. How can I eat? Don't find an excuse to leave. Just sit still. I'm a bit hungry. Come on, didn't you eat until you were full? I eat you. The more I eat, the hungrier I get. All right, then don't eat anymore. Next, come in for the interview. In one day, Li Fan and Lu Warner interviewed more than 20 applicants. On the first day, only 4 people passed. As for the others, some were fishing in troubled waters, some were biting off more than they could chew, and some were just shooting their mouths off. In fact, the company was quite tolerant. As long as the standard was about the same, Lu Warner was willing to give a chance. It seems that one day is not enough. I need to go through a few more rounds of interviews. After everyone had finished their interviews, Lu Warner stretched her body. Her posture was so charming that Li Fan was reluctant to look away. Such a great beauty. He must have been extremely lucky to have met her in 3 lifetimes. Only with the help of his ancestors could he win her heart. Let me handle the rest of the interviews. I feel that you're not suitable for the interview. You've quarreled with several applicants. It's them who are unreliable. Li Fan felt wronged, especially when I saw their disrespectful attitude towards you. It made me angry. Yeah, so you have to change something? What is it? You'll be responsible as Shun Chen's agent. Lu Wanner's words were shocking. Huh? Me? Agent? Shun? Have you lost your ability to speak? Can you say it together? You want me to be Shun Chen's agent? Who's the crazy one here? I can't help it. Jessica is responsible for the communication. Lu Wanner shrugged her shoulders. I can only let you be the agent for the time being. You're definitely crazy. I should buy some medicine for you. Li Fan was speechless. Then I'll leave it to you. Shinshin will also come to the company tomorrow. You have to be responsible for teaching her well. Chapter 1105. So, from today on, you my agent? Shinshan was wearing a blue sweater and jeans. She sat on the sofa and looked at Li Fan in front of the desk. Dragon Girl was curled up on the sofa, as usual, watching Korean dramas while eating snacks. There were several boxes of snacks in the office, all bought on Taobao for the little girl to eat to her heart's content. Although I'm not willing, it's true. Li Fan looked at some of the notices in Shun Chen's hands and could not help but sigh. Jessica helped you contact 10 variety shows, but they were all rejected by you. What's going on? They're all small variety shows. Boring to death. I don't want to go. Shun Chen said while trimming her nails. Shun, don't you understand? You're so poor now that you can't even find an agent. Li Fan reminded Shun. All your expenses are paid by the company. You don't expect me to support you for a lifetime, do you? What are you afraid of? I'll sing 2 songs and you'll earn back your money. If it's so simple, why did you look for us? Li Fan glared at the girl. China is full of entertainment companies. Why don't you look for them? They have no taste. It's you who's biting off more than you can chew. Li Fan did not care about Shun and said bluntly, You're now has-been star? If you don't reflect on this matter, you'd better find a boss to marry. I think with your past fame, it's possible to find a coal boss in Shaanxi. Bastard, you're making it sound so bad. Shun was so angry that her nose was crooked. There are so many people who like me. Humph. From here, you can line up to the capital. Really? And you could just pick one and marry it? That won't do. Shun curled her lips. Who says a woman must marry? I won't marry. How about it? Not much. But since it's your own decision, you should at least let me see your efforts, right? Li Fan looked straight at Shun in front of him. You only have lofty ambitions, but no action. Who doesn't? Which eye of yours saw it? Shun questioned. Are you asking me? Li Fan did not stand on ceremony. He directly walked over, picked up Shun and threw her in front of the mirror. Come, look at yourself in the mirror. Bastard, you're hurting me. Shun shouted, but Li Fan had no intention of letting go. In this society, who cares if you're in pain? They will only care about whether you're popular or not. During this period, no matter what kind of suffering you suffer, no one will care about you. Damn it, you're a bastard. You're right, I'm a bastard. Li Fan didn't refute. But I'm sorry, in this society, there are too many jerks like me. Don't tell me you are waiting for people like me to pity you, Big Shot Shun. Or have you forgotten that if it weren't for me, you would have been forced to shoot porn? Li Fan suddenly sneered. Now I feel that it's not a bad idea for you to act in an R-rated movie. At least I can still make use of your remaining value. I don't want to. I have talent. I won't be like those dirty women to shoot that kind of dirty movie. Dirty? Li Fan sneered. Don't beautify yourself. How strong do you think you are? Those women, they also earn their money through blood and sweat. Moreover, they won't be like you, thinking highly of themselves. In some aspects, you're not even as good as them. Damn it, you're humiliating me. I'm elevating you. Now you're penniless. Anyway, I won't shoot that kind of thing even if I die. Shun gritted her teeth and looked at Li Fan in the mirror. You might as well kill me. Otherwise, do you think you have any remaining value? My voice has recovered. I can still sing. Shun, your voice is good. But in this world, there are many people who can sing better than you. To me, you're just a woman who only knows how to daydream with a little beauty. You bastard. Shin became agitated. The pen next to her suddenly flew into the air and stabbed at Li Fan's temple. But Li Fan reached out and directly grabbed the pen in his hand. You think you're doing well? You can rise by singing? Shun, if you don't put down your pride and don't want to work hard like others, then you can only be a has-been star forever. Bastard. I can still do well without you. Sure. Li Fan smiled and pushed Shun aside. Go do it. I want to see, without me and Xiaowan's help, how far can you, a woman who only knows how to dream, do? I can do it myself. Xiaowan is my friend. She won't listen to you. But this company is mine. Li Fan crossed his arms and looked down at Shun. I have the final say in the company. Xiaowan is just my employee. Without my permission, she can't use any of the company's resources, including Jessica. Her salary is also written by me. If you think you can pay her salary of 30,000 a month, then you can take her away. Bastard. Shun was furious. She turned and rushed out of the office. Soon, Xiaowan came in and looked at Li Fan anxiously. Li Fan, what's wrong? Did you quarrel with Shun? Senior sister, are you asking me as Manager Lu or as Shun's friend? Both. What kind of trick are you playing? Sit down first. Li Fan pulled a chair in front of him. Xiaowan sat in front of him, waiting for Li Fan to give her an answer. Well, let me ask you first, what do you think of Shun? Except for her bad temper, she's not bad. Is that so? Li Fan pointed to the 10 notices on the table. She rejected these 10 notices. Well, maybe she thinks that these programs have too little influence. She's no longer the popular superstar Shun. If she doesn't change, then she'll always be rejected by others. Xiaowan, I saw with my own eyes how you reviewed these programs one by one. You even stayed up all night to call the producers and ask them to give Shun a chance. As for Shun, she ruined your and Jessica's efforts, as well as your intentions, just because she doesn't like these programs. Why do we owe her? Li Fan snorted. If she doesn't change her bad temper, then no one will care about her. But, no buts, if you really want her good, then listen to me. Li Fan's voice was filled with an unquestionable tone. You asked me to train her, then do as I say. Chapter 1106. Although Lu Wan did not agree at first, she eventually succumbed to Li Fan's tyranny. Shun's matters were now handed over to Li Fan. Li Fan went to class every day, went to work, and occasionally dealt with the club's affairs. Shun had not come since the last incident. He was probably still struggling because of his pride. However, Li Fan was not in a hurry. Shun had always been a spendthrift. According to Lu Wan's internal information, Shun had no savings. He had been living off his savings. Li Fan calculated that Shun would be back in less than 10 days. 10 days later, Li Fan stood in the dressing room, looking at the pair of sisters who had been carefully dressed up. The company had hired professional stylists and makeup artists, who were all newcomers who had just graduated. However, their ideas were very innovative, and the cases they gave were also very fashionable. At this time, the pair of sisters were wearing uniquely designed clothes. The two girls, one in black and the other in white, looked very fashionable and had different styles. The company's design was in the style of ice and fire. Therefore, Jiang Yuanyuan's black clothes were engraved with flames, while Jiang Fangfang's white clothes were dyed with blue and white snowflakes. Not bad, not bad. Li Fan was very satisfied. This image suits you very well. Of course. Jiang Yuanyuan said proudly. Who are we? Hee. In the mainland, there are actually very few people who can become famous as a group. The makeup artist next to her was called Peter, who was a little feminine. He was thin and had a girly demeanor. He wore a black top hat and a pair of white-framed spectacles. He wore a white shirt, pink pants, and white leather shoes. He crossed his arms and looked at the pair of sisters, very satisfied with his work. However, these two are really good. As long as we polish them carefully, they will definitely be able to stand firm. Well, next is the condition of the voice. Li Fan looked at his watch. The recording teacher is not here yet. He should be here soon. The company had not found a suitable recording artist yet, so they were renting one from outside. Aya, I don't have much confidence in singing. Jiang Yuanyuan wasn't boasting, but she was clearly a little worried. Don't worry. As long as you're not tone deaf, it's fine. Peter adjusted his glasses and said, You guys have what it takes. You don't have to worry about singing. Hearing Peter's comforting words, the two sisters heaved a sigh of relief. About singing. As soon as Li Fan finished speaking, the door to the dressing room was suddenly pushed open. Shinshin walked in aggressively from outside. Shinshin. Li Fan glanced at her and then looked at the time. I'm sorry, you're not scheduled for today. Manager Li, can you talk to me? Shinshin seemed to be restraining his temper. Sorry, I don't have time. Please, no matter what, arrange some time for me. Shinshin bit her lips. Is it something important? Very important, Shinshin begged again. All right then, I'll give you 10 minutes. Li Fan instructed Peter, help me keep an eye on this place. I'll go talk to Shinshin. Li Fan walked out of the dressing room and glanced at the other office outside the door. The door of the office was made of glass. Dragon Girl was sitting inside, eating and drinking. The little girl also had her own room in the company so that she wouldn't disturb other people's work. All right, what's the matter? Say it. After Li Fan entered the office, he lay down on his office chair, put his feet on the table, and looked at Shinshin opposite him. After Shinshin came in, she closed the office door and then looked at Li Fan. The words were at the tip of her tongue, but she swallowed them back down. After repeating this for a long time, Li Fan became quite impatient. If there's nothing, then forget it. My time is precious, and I have a lot of things to do. Li Fan began to ask his guest to leave. Li Fan, how did you become like this? Shinshin looked at Li Fan angrily. You weren't like this before. Didn't you like to help me? Since when did I like to help you? Li Fan put his hands on his lap and kept crossing his fingers. You may be mistaken. I, Li Fan, have never been a good person. The only reason I helped you before was because of the money you gave me. Yes, I'm not a good person, but I'm a businessman and a trustworthy one at that. Then what do you want? I'm already so miserable, and you want to add snow to the fire? Shinshin pressed her hands on Li Fan's table and stared at him at close range. Big shot, Shun. Are you mistaken about something? Li Fan smiled from ear to ear. It's not me who made you so miserable. Why should I be responsible for it? You. Then what do you want? It's not what I want, but what you want. Li Fan reminded her. You've seen my company. We've tried our best for you. Your life is miserable, but there are millions of people in this world who are worse off than you. Do I have to be responsible for all of them? I'll go on these shows. Shinshin bit her lips. Don't, big shot, Shun. You make it sound like I've wronged you. We don't raise big shots here. You'd better find another one. Bastard, isn't the original intention of your company to help me? You're mistaken, right? I've said it before. The original intention of the company was to rely on you to make money. But now you can't make money from me, so I naturally don't need you. Li Fan, don't be like this. What about me? I'm just asking you like a normal boss. Li Fan looked at Shinshin and spoke mercilessly. Shinshin, if it weren't for the lack of money, you wouldn't have come to me, right? Your self-esteem is just like that. Under the pressure of material things, it's gone. Shinshin did not speak, but just bit her lips. She had been really down recently. Although she could still live in the school apartment, Luoner was almost not in the apartment every day. She did not know where she was living. Therefore, the apartment's electricity bill had not been paid. Shinshin could not even take a bath, let alone eat. She did not know that Luoner was now living at Li Fan's place every day. This was one of Li Fan's evil plans. Shinshin was afraid that it would not be long before she died in the apartment. She could not take a bath, could not afford cosmetics, and could only eat steamed buns every day. This was not the life that Shinshin should live. Do you want to live a better life? Li Fan saw through Shinshin's thoughts at a glance. After all, this was a trap that he had set up step by step. At this time, Shinshin had completely jumped into the pit and could not escape from the palm of his hand. Chapter 1107. Shinshin hesitated for a moment. 3 minutes left. Li Fan glanced at the clock on the wall. There are 3 minutes left for our conversation. What do you want? 3 minutes. If you can move me, I'll give you a chance to participate in the variety show. Li Fan gave the final order. Shin Shin was still hesitating. 2 minutes left. Shin Shin finally made a move. She bit her lips tightly and slowly took off her clothes. A minute later, Shin Shin stripped down to her underwear and stood in front of Li Fan. Shin Shin had been exercising and maintained a good figure, especially the mermaid line on her abdomen, which was full of attractiveness. You do have a good figure. Li Fan crossed his arms and looked at Shin Shin. But do you think this can move me? Shin Shin gritted her teeth. She slowly reached out her hand and put it on her bra. She seemed to have made up her mind to take it off. Enough. Li Fan stopped her. You're stupid, but you're not bad. Don't you want to do this? Shin Shin's eyes were filled with tears. She looked at Li Fan mockingly. You're the same as those people, all on my body. Will you be satisfied if I do this? Silly woman. Li Fan threw Shin Shin's coat back and threw it on her. Is 3 minutes not enough for you to sing a song? Shin Shin was stunned. What about me? Li Fan looked at Shin Shin seriously. What I want to see is your efforts, not your depravity. Shin Shin, you're ambitious and confident. These are all right. But for this, you should put in more effort than ordinary people. Shin Shin hugged her coat. Tears kept flowing down her cheeks. Shin Shin, I've taught you long ago. You're just a little better at singing, but you're not much different from the millions of others. Your pride is worthless and will only make you fall behind. Li Fan, I hate you. Shin Shin wiped away her tears. Did you come here to punish me? Not to punish you, but to make you better. Li Fan emphasized. Shin Shin, do you always want to be a has-been star? Li Fan, you're a demon. You flatter me. Li Fan smiled. This makes me very shy. I knew you wouldn't dare to do anything. Shin Shin wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and looked at Li Fan in front of her. As if you dare to do anything. You're underestimating me. Shin Shin was immediately unconvinced. The things I can do are beyond your imagination. Oh, Li Fan raised his eyebrows, put down his legs, sat up straight, and looked at Shin Shin with interest. What can you do? Big shot Shin? Without saying a word, Shin Shin stepped forward. She crawled under the desk, then reached out and pulled down the zipper of Li Fan's pants. What are you doing? Li Fan was a little surprised. I'll let you see how powerful I am. You're kidding me. It's fine if you're pretending, but don't mess around. Li Fan did not believe that a proud woman like Shin Shin would do anything to him. It was impossible. What's there to be afraid of? Shin Shin snorted coldly. Isn't it just eating stinky things like men? You sound so relaxed as if you've eaten them before. I've seen them in movies. What the hell, what movie are you watching? None of your business. Shin Shin squatted there and hesitated for a long time. Li Fan could not help but laugh. Stop it. I'm already very surprised that you can do this. Looking at Shin Shin, who was struggling with herself, Li Fan could not help but want to laugh. What? You don't know how. I have no actual combat experience. Shin muttered. If you want to learn, I can teach you. Li Fan said half-jokingly. Can't you teach me something good? You don't have to learn if you don't want to. I won't fall for your provocation. Then why don't you get up? Shin Shin was just a mouth cannon. She did not have the guts to do anything. Bastard Li Fan. Sooner or later, I'll get even with you. Shin Shin was still stubborn. She was about to stand up, but there was a knock on the door. Manager Li Fan and Shin became nervous at the same time. It was Lu Warner outside the door. With the two of them acting like this, they would definitely be misunderstood. Li Fan quickly pressed Shin's head and put her back under the table. Then he looked at Lu Warner, who pushed the door and came in. Manager Lu, what's the matter? Li Fan pretended to be calm and asked. Manager Li, the sound recorder is here. The office door was open, and Lu Warner maintained a polite look. Well, I got it. Can you contact Shin? Let her try the recording. Lu Warner still secretly helped Shin. I asked Jessica to help contact a famous composer and write a new song for her. Manager Lu, you spoil her so much, but you'll spoil her. Li Fan reminded Lu Warner. After all, we're good friends. I can't watch her go downhill. Lu Warner gave Li Fan a gentle smile, then remembered to contact her. I heard she came today, but she didn't find her. Well, she just talked to me and I scolded her away. Li Fan felt his thigh being pinched. I really don't know what to say. After all, I'm the company's decision-maker. I have to be responsible for the company. Li Fan replied in a dignified manner. In short, believe me. Well, then I'll go do my work first. Lu Wana was about to leave when she suddenly turned her head and carefully looked at Li Fan. Manager Li, you're a little strange today. What's strange? Li Fan was a little nervous. If it was in the past, you wouldn't let me go out so easily. Lu Wana winked at Li Fan. Li Fan coughed twice. At this time, there were outsiders around, and he didn't want to expose the secret. If this matter was spread out, especially to Lin Yuchisen, Lu Xinan, and those other women, what would happen? They would eat Lu Wana up. There are a lot of things to do today, especially Shan Chun. She's giving me a headache. His thigh was pinched again. That's true. All right, I won't disturb you anymore. Remember to come to the recording studio. Lu Wana was very understanding of Li Fan, and she finally left. Li Fan let out a long sigh of relief. It was really dangerous just now. I was scared to death. Shinshin also came out from under the table. She mumbled as she put on her clothes. Why do I feel that Xiao Wan listens to you so much? She's my subordinate, after all. Li Fan made up a lie. In short, it doesn't matter how you treat me. Shinshin's eyes suddenly fixed on Li Fan, but if you dare to bully Xiao Wan, even if I die, I won't let you go. Chapter 1108. You guys better hurry up. My time is very precious, you know. The sound engineer sat on the chair and said unhappily, wasting my time is wasting my money. Teacher Andy, I'm really sorry. Lu Wana personally handed a cup of coffee to the sound engineer. Please take care of me today. In my opinion, for a small company like yours, you can just hire a couple of recording artists. This sound engineer had a goatee, wore a green vest, and had a pipe in his mouth. My time is very precious. In the afternoon, there are two big shots who want to record a song for me. Yes. Teacher Andy, I'll have to trouble you. Lu Wana said all kinds of soft words, but Jiang Yuan and Jiang Fong were in the recording studio and did not hear this conversation. Otherwise, with Jiang Yuan's temper, she would definitely not be able to bear it. This pair of twins looks not bad, but I wonder what their voice is like. The sound engineer did not like this small company's duo. Every year, there were many people who wanted to debut in the entertainment circle. Regardless of what they looked like or what their voice was like, they all wanted to be famous in the entertainment circle. But in this circle, how could it be so easy to stand out? The sound engineer took a look at the song in his hand. This song? This was written by teacher Little Jian. The sound engineer felt that the style of the song was very familiar. As expected of teacher Andy, you can recognize it at a glance. Lu Wana smiled. Why would he write a song for two newcomers? The sound engineer felt a little puzzled. This was not logical. In short, since it's teacher Little Jian's song, I'm a little interested. Hurry up and start. I hope these two newcomers don't ruin the song. The sound engineer urged as he put on the monitoring headphones. Jiang Yuan and Jiang Fong stood in the recording studio and began to sing the song according to their rehearsal. Their voices were not bad, and their singing was also very standard. After the sound engineer finished listening, he took off the headphones and blew out a smoke ring. It's just SOSO. The sound engineer was not very satisfied, and his expression was very reluctant. This kind of duo relied on their looks, so he naturally could not expect too much. If they have any problems, I hope teacher can help them. Lu Wana still maintained her politeness. Then let's talk about it. The sound recordist didn't want to say anything, so he quickly finished recording and left. But at this moment, Li Fan pushed the door open and entered. Manager Li, this is the sound recorder, Teacher Andy. Lu Wana hurriedly introduced them. Teacher Andy, this is our director Li. Oh, hello. Li Fan held out his hand, but the sound recordist did not intend to shake it. Hurry up and record. I'm not interested in getting to know the boss of a small company. Just let me finish my work. Li Fan couldn't help but shake his head. This recording artist was crazy. It seemed that it was more important to find a recording artist in the company. Director Lu, how is their recording? Li Fan did not want to deal with a recording artist. He turned his head to look at Lu Wana. Listen. Lu Warner played the song that the twins sang for Li Fan to listen to. This time, the company had found a well-known composer to write a fast song for the twins. The two girls followed the route of the school's popular style. After listening to it, Li Fan felt that it was not bad. It was light and had a sense of rhythm. Coupled with the image of the two girls, they should be able to debut smoothly. Can you hurry up? I'm very busy. The sound recordist urged again. If you guys don't continue recording, I'm leaving. Teacher Andy, don't worry. Lu Warner was about to persuade him, but Li Fan stopped her. Li Fan looked at the time and then looked at the sound recordist. Why are you looking at me? The sound recordist's temper was unparalleled. I'm paying for you to work for 4 hours. Li Fan said bluntly. So far, you have worked less than 2 hours, less than 4 hours. Please have some shame. Don't keep mentioning about leaving. Don't you have any manners? The sound recordist immediately shouted. Do you know who I am? How dare you talk to me like this? I indeed don't know manners. Because I'm a businessman. I do things according to the contract. Li Fan took out the contract. It's written clearly in black and white. You don't know what art is. The sound recordist directly grabbed the contract and tore it into pieces. Isn't it just a breach of contract? I'll compensate you. Country bumpkin, go play by yourself. With that, the sound recordist turned around to leave. Teacher Andy, Lu Warner still wanted to persuade him to stay, but she was pulled by Li Fan. Li Fan, tell him to get lost. Li Fan said bluntly. Find a reliable and obedient sound recordist. What bullshit, master? We don't need one. All right. Lu Warner actually felt that the other party was a bit unreliable. This master was too careless when working, which was not helpful for recording. However, Lu Warner thought of another meaning. Having a master to record a song was indeed a very useful gimmick for publicity. But Li Fan did not like it, so they did not do it this way. Just as the sound recordist was about to leave, Shun pushed the door open and entered. Li Fan, I'm here to record a song. Shun. Seeing the beautiful female star who walked in, the sound recordist was dumbfounded. You're also here to record a song? Andy? Shun glanced at Andy and curled his lips. Why is this guy here? He's just passing by. Li Fan indicated that there was no need to care about him. Shun, hurry up and record the song. Shun's attitude towards Li Fan was much better now, but the sound recordist was a bit anxious. Everyone, that just now is a bit too much. Let me continue with my work. Li Fan looked at this guy a bit strangely. Was he intermittently crazy? Li Fan did not understand Andy. Although Andy was a famous sound recordist, he was not the top. To become a top sound recordist, he still needed the help of a top singer. But a top singer would not look for him at all. That was why when he saw Shun, he was so crazy that he did not even care about his face. Compared to a top singer, face was nothing. I will never use a person like you. Li Fan righteously waved his hand and rejected Andy's request. I don't need to charge you. I'll record this song for free. And I appreciate your pursuit of art. Then let's do it this way. I promise you. Shun and Lu Warner looked at Li Fan with disdain. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm also trying to save some money for the company. Li Fan coughed twice. Work is more important. Record the song. Chapter 1109. Shun and the twins were slowly getting on the right track. The company was managed well by Lu Warner. Shun performed as usual. After all, she used to be a popular star, and the twins slowly had problems. Lu Warner temporarily let Li Fan take care of them. What's the matter? Why are you frowning? Li Fan walked into the lounge. Jiang Yuan and Jiang Fangfang were sitting there. The two sisters didn't look very good. Our song doesn't look very popular. Jiang Yuan sat there with her little face on the table. She looked unhappy. The new song released at the same time. Shun is #1 on the Golden Songs chart. The two of us didn't even enter the top 30. I was wondering why the two little princesses were so listless for a few days. Li Fan couldn't help laughing. Didn't you guys just want to play around? Why are you so serious this time? Since we're doing it, we should do it well. Jiang Yuan sighed. I still like being a star. Forget it, Yuan. Jiang Fangfang tugged at her sister. This shows that the two of us really don't have the talent to sing. I don't want to rely on my face to make a living. Jiang Yuanyuan was quite ambitious. President, oh no, boss. How can you develop the potential of me and my sister? If you say that, the president will think the wrong way. Jiang Fangfang reminded her sister. That's true. Jiang Yuanyuan tilted her head and looked at Li Fan. Boss, you're not thinking the wrong way, are you? This Jiang Yuanyuan was wearing a low-collared shirt. Sitting there, Li Fan could even see the snow-white skin on her chest. Li Fan suddenly thought of the sexy cosplay photos that Jiang Yuanyuan had posted before. He couldn't help but feel a little hot inside. This girl, she definitely did it on purpose. Fortunately, Murong AI had been taken back by her family recently. Otherwise, things would get lively again if she came and poked her nose in. But it wouldn't be long before this girl slipped out again. Recently, the pugilistic world was in turmoil. Murong Bo probably wouldn't let her little daughter run around. I'm so unwilling. Jiang Yuanyuan wailed. Jiang Fangfang couldn't do anything to her sister. How about this? I have an idea. Li Fan thought for a moment, then said, Initially, I didn't want to teach you. All right, boss, you're still hiding something. Jiang Yuanyuan immediately stood up and took Li Fan's arm. Although the little girl's chest wasn't big, it felt very real when it was pressed against Li Fan's arm. It's not that I'm trying to hide it, but if I do that, it would be unfair to the other singers. You're the little tyrant. When did you start talking about fairness? Jiang Yuanyuan asked immediately. That's true. Li Fan felt that with the improvement of his martial arts, his competitive spirit seemed to have gradually decreased. Since that's the case, I'll teach it to you too. Li Fan revealed this secret. Actually, there are many ways to use true qi. You too should know about demonic voice infusion, right? Of course, this is a kind of devil skill. Jiang Fangfang's understanding of martial arts was very profound. Li Fan felt that in this aspect, she might be second only to the devil cult's Lu Zhu. Speaking of which, he hadn't seen Lu Zhu for a long time. He kind of missed him. He didn't know what this guy was doing now. With the turmoil in the pugilistic world, perhaps the devil cult wouldn't be spared. Li Fan, do you mean that when we sing, we should use the ability similar to demonic voice infusion? Jiang Yuanyuan was exceptionally smart and seemed to understand something. Let's not talk about whether it can be done or not. Even if it can be done, demonic voice infusion will only work on the people present, right? Jiang Fangfang pondered. If that's the case, won't CD and electronic music have no effect? It will work. Li Fan reminded her, what I want to do is not to let the demonic voice infusion, but to let the two of you learn how to use true qi to make your voices resonate. In this way, your singing will be different from others. Can such a thing really be done? Jiang Fangfang was somewhat doubtful. Li Fan smiled. I'll demonstrate it for you. With that, he raised his true qi and gathered it in his throat, making his voice resonate with the true qi. After Li Fan sang a few lines, the two sisters opened their eyes wide. This is too powerful. Li Fan's singing had a strong attraction. The magnetism of his voice even made the two sisters' bodies slightly soft. Jiang Yuanyuan's face was red. Although she was usually very noisy, she was a bit traditional in her bones. But at this moment, she was a bit wet. This made her particularly shy. This is too embarrassing. Li Fan's singing is really scary. How is it? Li Fan maintained his demonic voice. My voice is not changed, nor is it demonic voice infusion. It's just the resonance of true qi. I can't do it. Jiang Yuanyuan's face was flushed, tightly leaning on Li Fan's body. Oh, you quickly speak in a normal way. Jiang Fangfang was also leaning on the wall next to her, seemingly enduring something. Hey, you two, what's wrong with you? Li Fan was somewhat puzzled. I can't hold it anymore. Jiang Yuanyuan suddenly pulled off Li Fan's shirt. Both of her hands hugged Li Fan, and her cherry lips kept kissing Li Fan's neck. Jiang Fangfang's eyes were also watery as she walked step by step toward Li Fan. She was still strongly restraining herself, but it seemed that she still could not resist this terrible impulse. Oh no! Although Li Fan was looking forward to the two sisters serving him together, He did not want to use such a method. Just like how he inexplicably gave up his first time to Imperial concubine Zhou, Li Fan knew that these two girls certainly did not want to carelessly give up their first time. Li Fan immediately put away his sound resonance, and then with a fierce tiger roar, he woke up the pair of sisters with a roar. The two girls woke up, their faces were even redder, and they did not dare to speak. The atmosphere was a little awkward. Li Fan could not help but cough twice. That is a bit too powerful. Jiang Yuanyuan also recovered a little, and the redness on her face faded a lot. Perverted president. Jiang Fangfang turned her head. I also did not know that it would have this effect. We could try to lower the resonance. You still want to try? Jiang Yuanyuan seemed a little afraid, but also a little expectant. Yes, this is also for your own good. Li Fan's righteous manner made it hard for the beautiful sisters to refuse. Don't worry, this time I will lower the resonance. There should be no problem. With that, Li Fan spoke again, and the beautiful sisters simultaneously became nervous. Chapter 11:10. Just as Li Fan sang a line, the two girls' faces immediately turned red. The two girls continued to squirm, and Jiang Yuanyuan kept rubbing against Li Fan's body. Li Fan hurriedly used the fierce tiger roar to wake the two girls up. Li Fan, looking at the shirt that she almost pulled off, Jiang Yuanyuan angrily looked at Li Fan. Are you doing this on purpose? How is that possible? Li Fan hurriedly explained, my heart is open. If you continue to try, both of us will lose our chastity. Jiang Yuanyuan angrily looked at Li Fan. Tell me, is this your purpose? Perverted boss. Jiang Fangfang added insult to injury. She kept turning her head to look somewhere else, not daring to look at Li Fan. It's really not. Today is my first time using this ability, so it's hard to distinguish what kind of effect it has. Li Fan hurriedly explained. This time he was telling the truth. Then what should we do? We can't go on like this. Jiang Yuanyuan was very afraid. Sister might be able to, but I definitely can't bear it. Jiang Fangfang wanted to say something, but hesitated. Then let's do it this way. Li Fan said as he stretched out two fingers and poked Jiang Yuanyuan's body. Poke crane. At present, only Li Fan knew this kind of acupoint striking skill. He used his powerful internal force to seal Jiang Yuanyuan's ability to move. Although it won't be long, it's enough. Jiang Fangfang, you come too. Li Fan said as he took a step forward and poked Jiang Fangfang's body. Jiang Fangfang's body stiffened, a bit at a loss. Li Fan had sealed her acupoint, so she couldn't move for a while. You two can still talk. Li Fan reminded the two of them. I'm going to continue with the test. If you feel uncomfortable, remember to tell me. Li Fan said as he let his true chi begin to resonate, and then continued to speak. How is it? Can you do it this time? Li Fan's voice sounded in the ears of the two girls. Is the size right? As soon as he said that, Li Fan felt a little evil. All right, it doesn't seem appropriate to ask this. No. Smaller. Too big. Jiang Yuanyuan's breathing was rapid, and her voice was unsteady. Then I'll be more gentle. As he spoke, Li Fan lowered the resonance and began to sing. The two girls seemed to be very uncomfortable. Their faces were flushed, and they were biting their lips. Their bodies were trembling slightly. If it weren't for their Dian acupoints sealing their bodies, they would have already pounced on them. While Li Fan was singing, he constantly adjusted his temperament, and, at the same time, observed the situation of the two girls. From initial trembling, it gradually calmed down. When Li Fan reduced the resonance to the minimum, the two women's expressions finally eased up a lot. Yes, that's enough. Jiang Yuanyuan finally heaved a sigh of relief. Is that all? Li Fan glanced at Jiang Fangfang, and she also nodded her head. Okay. Li Fan stretched out his hand and unsealed the two's acupoints. The two of them also heaved a long sigh of relief. This was simply torture. Come, I'll teach you this method. Li Fan finally mastered the strength and the resonance amplitude. You must master it well. Your last song was really beautiful and touching. Jiang Yuanyuan couldn't help but praise. Boss, although you're a pervert, you still have a way. I still have 3 more. Li Fan rolled his eyes. All right, you two hurry up and practice. The two sisters nodded their heads. This method was indeed effective. The two of them began to practice the new vocal method with Li Fan. Li Fan's resonance method was not very difficult. The only difficulty was the way to use true qi. However, the two sisters' talent was not bad. Under Li Fan's guidance, they soon had some small achievements. After teaching for a day and a night, the two of them finally learned it. The next morning, Li Fan brought the new song and gave it to the two sisters. Will it work this time? Lu Wanner crossed her arms and stood beside Li Fan, looking at the pair of sisters in the recording studio. Although the sales are not very good, it won't be bad. After all, the two of them don't have any talent in singing. When they go back, they will go to variety shows and show their faces, and their popularity will slowly increase. Believe me, this time is no problem. Li Fan winked at Lu Wanner. I taught them personally. Even if you can make a person's character better. Lu Wanner was referring to Shun Shun. Recently, she had become a lot more modest. Although she still had a bad temper, compared to before, it was not much better. But you can't make a person's singing sound beautiful, right? You will know in a moment. Li Fan remained mysterious, causing Lu Wanner to pout coquettishly. However, in front of so many employees, Lu Wanner did not dare to show too much. She could only stand there and wait to see what kind of medicine Li Fan was selling in the gourd. Jiang Yuan, who was inside, gave Li Fan a confident look. You two, what the hell are you doing? Lu Wanner scratched her head. This Li Fan always liked to show off. The two of them put on the monitoring headphones, and the newly recruited recording engineer was beside them, working cautiously. Although he was a recent graduate, this recording engineer was very serious and responsible, which Li Fan appreciated. Deliberately mystifying. Shin Shin was also called over and put on the headphones. She did not care at all. These two girls had no talent in singing. How could they compare with her? However, as a senior, she could still give some advice. Let's start. When Li Fan's voice fell, the twins had already started singing. Everyone did not have any expectations, thinking that the boss wanted to promote the twins, so they improvised. However, after the twins started singing a few lines, everyone was stunned. Lu Wanner stared with her eyes wide open. Shin Shin's mouth was wide open. The two girls completely did not care about their image. This was simply unbelievable. What kind of magic did Li Fan use? He could even do this kind of thing? No matter how much these two girls trained before, their singing was only at an ordinary level. But today, the two of them could be described as heavenly music. So scary. How did Li Fan do it? After the two girls finished recording, everyone was still in a daze. Okay, it's over. Li Fan reminded the recording engineer. The recording engineer seemed to suddenly wake up and quickly finished recording. That pious look was as if he had completed a sacred task. Li Fan, what did you do? Shun Shun grabbed Li Fan's sleeve. How did the two of them improve so quickly? This is impossible. Some small skills of a martial artist. Li Fan winked at Shun Shun. Do you want to learn? Chapter 11:11. The twins became famous. In an instant, they became famous all over the country. Their latest single even overtook Shin Chen's first place and became the champion in one fell swoop. Li Fan walked into school and listened to the twins' new song on the radio. He couldn't help but feel a little proud. It seemed that he still had the talent to train stars. He should give himself a title in the future. He would be called the best manager. You're also quite amazing to be able to use your true qi in such a way. Dragoness followed beside Li Fan. The little girl would always have snacks in her hand. What do you plan to do next? Everything is on track. The company is also being handled by Lu Wanner and the others. I can relax a little. It was early winter, but G City was still as warm as spring. Li Fan stood under the sun and stretched. He looked very satisfied. I'm going to go into seclusion for a while and then challenge the sanctum. Head escortly. Before Li Fan could finish his plan, a man wearing the uniform of the Brocade Clan Guard suddenly walked out from the corner. Looking at his clothes, he seemed to be a small baihu. This person wore the mask of the Brocade Clan Guard. It was not clear who he was. Stand behind me. Li Fan reached out and blocked Dragoness behind him. At the same time, he turned his left palm and gathered a strong, true chi. Head escort Li. I'm not an enemy. The Baihu cupped his hands at Li Fan. I'm here to tell you something. Say it. There were a few students around, but they didn't notice the Brocade Clan Guard standing in the dark. His clothes, on the other hand, were able to blend well with the darkness. Li Fan didn't want to make a move. He didn't want to disturb the peaceful campus. Someone asked me to come here to inform you of a matter. The Baihu pointed to the east. In the headquarters of the Devil Cult, there's a book called 9 Truth Secrets. It has records about the martial god's real body. It can be used as a reference for your martial arts. Oh, Li Fan was a little surprised. Who asked you to come? A friend of yours. The other party didn't specify who it was. I've already conveyed the message, so it's not convenient for me to stay any longer. Please take care. As the official spoke, he retreated back into the shadows. Soon, even his aura disappeared. This person, even though he was only a Baihu, his ability to conceal his aura was truly formidable. He came and went, but Li Fan did not notice. Is he from the Imperial Secret Service? The Dragon Lady seemed a little interested. I haven't seen them in a long time. I didn't expect them to still exist. This is also an existence with a long history, and one of them is an extremely powerful fellow. How awesome is that? Saint level. Li Fan recalled the battle between Wang Luo and Liao Ju. He was known as the Emperor of the pugilistic world. At his peak, he had the power of a martial saint. But now, according to what Wang Luo had said, his strength was less than half, and Wang Luo had died in his hands. Even if I were to use the returning sword, I'm afraid I wouldn't be his match. Oh, this was somewhat out of the Dragon Lady's expectations. Even the Azure Dragon was defeated by you. Is that man really that powerful? Yes, I won't brag for the enemy. Li Fan thought for a while. Maybe I should consider this man's opinion and go to the headquarters of the cult to take a look. What is a cult? The Dragon Lady did not know much about the cult. At that time, there were only 108 demonic sections. Where did the cult come from? The 108 demonic sects were all conquered by a man named Li Wei. Li Fan mentioned the name of the cult master. He's also very powerful. I can go and take a look. Anyway, do you have a plan? Are you going to barge into the cult? Of course not. Since I'm going to look for something, I'd better sneak in. Li Fan made up his mind. It's decided then. Follow me to the cult's headquarters. Do you know where it is? I don't know, but I can buy it. With the Phoenix King around, he would probably be able to find out the location of the cult's headquarters. What about me? The Dragon Lady pointed at herself. If you want to sneak in, I'll definitely become a burden, right? I'll leave you in the military for a period of time. After thinking for a while, Li Fan continued. After all, I won't be able to take care of you if you enter the cult. No way. The Dragon Lady rejected Li Fan's suggestion. I'm your mentor. I have to stay by your side every day for the next 2 years. Who knows what kind of bad behavior you'll have when you disappear? Why are you always studying my behavior? Besides, I'm about to graduate, right? Don't you want to learn the ultimate move, the 5-blow thunderstruck? It didn't seem to be this name the last time, did it? Li Fan tried to recall. Almost. In short, it's a great ultimate skill that has been passed down from generation to generation. With this ultimate skill, even if it's the emperor of the martial arts world, Liao Ju, you'll have a chance to defeat him. How troublesome, Li Fan could not refuse. You look like this. How am I supposed to bring you along to hide? Is it inconvenient for children? The Dragon Lady smiled. You should have said so earlier. This problem is easy to solve. As she spoke, she spun around. The blue light wrapped around her body. When the light dissipated, she had already grown to a height of 167 meters. Her figure was tall and graceful. She was completely a young girl version of the Dragon Lady. It is us Dragon Ladies can freely control our body. The Dragon Lady said proudly. Otherwise, why do you think I can eat so much and not get fat? You're awesome. Then why don't you maintain this figure? Li Fan asked. This figure is so inconvenient. The dragon lady looked at Li Fan and smiled sweetly. Besides, aren't you a Lulacan? Damn, who's a Lulacan? Li Fan wiped off his cold sweat. With this ultimate skill, it'll be much more convenient. Of course, this is the dragon lady's ultimate skill. Do you want to learn it? The dragon lady looked at Li Fan and asked proudly. I don't need to learn it from you. I know it too. You sure know how to brag. Haha, forget it if you don't believe me. As Li Fan spoke, he took out his phone and made a call. This information is worth quite a lot of money. Hearing Li Fan's question, the Phoenix King on the other end of the phone immediately answered. This kind of information is worth at least 9 to 10 digits, right? I say, old phone. Li Fan began to curry favor. Our friendship is not shallow. Isn't it not good for you to ask for such an exorbitant price? My head escort, Li. You're really a forgetful person. The Phoenix King reminded him. Don't tell me you've forgotten that you rejected my proposal to cooperate a long time ago. Work is work, and feelings are feelings. In my heart, you old phone are my friend. If you need anything from me, I will definitely help you without hesitation. Chapter 11-12. Brother Li is right. Phoenix King seemed to agree with Li Fan's words. Li Fan was overjoyed. Phoenix King continued. Work is work, feelings are feelings. I admit that we have a good personal relationship. When you are free, come to my place more often. I will treat you to food and drinks. But this is a work matter. Naturally, it has to be business. If it's not in the tens, we can forget about it. Li Fan was stunned for a moment, then said, Old Phoenix, do you think it's not good for me to go there to freeload every day? Am I, Li Fan, such a shameless person? Surely not, right? So, I think it's better for us to discuss this matter. Li Fan, let's not beat around the bush. The matter you are asking is not a small matter. Even if you want to know when Muron will masturbate, I will think about it and tell you. Fuck, is he really that heartless? He really is that heartless. Phoenix King did not hesitate. Then fuck off. Goodbye. Just as Li Fan was about to hang up, Phoenix King's voice sounded again. Brotherly, why are you in such a hurry? What? You still want me to stay for a meal? Ha, that's not it. Phoenix King changed the topic. As the saying goes, ask for a sky-high price and pay for it on the ground. Brotherly, you still haven't haggled with me? What? I offer 200, you can't do it. Brotherly, you are not sincere. I think we should forget about it. All right, let's talk properly. Li Fan did not continue to pester and asked Phoenix King seriously. What do you want? 9 Truths Technique. Phoenix King was extremely intelligent and had already guessed why Li Fan was going to the demonic cult. Deal. Li Fan did not hesitate. This matter was good. Without Phoenix King's news, he would not be able to find the demonic cult's headquarters. Just like what Phoenix King said, this was a simple business deal. Good, straightforward, as expected of the little tyrant. The Phoenix King laughed heartily. Then it's settled. You'll receive the message in a moment. Remember to check in time. Destroy it after 10 seconds. It's quite mysterious. Li Fan hung up the phone. Soon, he received a text message with a string of addresses. Fortunately, Li Fan had a good memory. He memorized the address, and a message disappeared from Li Fan's phone. To think that the Phoenix King would be able to do this. It seemed that he had quite a few hackers under him. Get ready to go. Li Fan put away his phone and glanced at Dragon Girl. Should we call a helicopter? That won't do. Today is a secret operation. Li Fan said, we can't make such a big move. The two of us will take the secret path of the escort agency. The escort agency had prepared many secret passages that extended in all directions and were very well hidden. Li Fan brought Dragon Girl, and the two of them came to a mountain in Guizhou through a secret path. According to the information given by the Phoenix King, the headquarters of the devil cult was indeed at this place, deep in the mountains. It's indeed a very hidden place. Li Fan walked in the wilderness. Although it was already winter, it was not cold here. It was only slightly dry. Li Fan stepped on the branch, making a cracking sound under his feet. This place is suitable for secluded cultivation. Dragon Girl looked at this desolate and uninhabited mountain. Maybe there's an otherworldly expert here. The mountains now no longer have the feeling of the past. Leaf Fan smiled. Almost all the mountains and fields have been traversed by people. The wilderness is no longer mysterious. It's just that there are some desolate mountains that almost no one wants to come a second time. Leaf Fan looked at the surrounding desolate mountains. The reason why the devil cult chose this place as their headquarters was probably because this place was sparsely populated. As for how to enter the devil cult's headquarters, Leaf Fan had already thought of a way. He was not in a hurry to go deeper. Instead, he found a place with mountains and water, lit a bonfire, and sat there fishing. That's right. Dragon Girl was very satisfied, not forgetting to prepare food for me. That's how a good student should be. And just wait patiently. Leaf Fan placed a bucket beside him. I'll catch a few fish and roast them for you. You just leave the roasted fish to me. Dragon Girl said proudly. In terms of eating techniques, I won't lose to anyone. All right, you do it. Leaf Fan seemed to be well prepared. He took out the seasonings one by one and placed them at the side. All right, leave it to me. Dragon Girl licked her lips. Since I'm a teacher, I should naturally eat more. How about this? I'll eat 10, you eat 1. How about it? You. This is too unfair. Leaf Fan smiled bitterly. No matter what, the one fishing is me. I can help you, Dragon Girl said as she took the jade flute from Leaf Fan's waist and held it in her hand. You know how to whistle? Leaf Fan tried not to sound too evil. Do you think I only know how to eat? Dragon Girl rolled her eyes at Leaf Fan. I'm also very good at music, okay? With that, she began to whistle the short flute. Different from Leaf Fan's music, Dragon Girl's music has a wild feeling. It was as if he had returned to nature, carefree and unrestrained. Even Leaf Fan was fascinated when he heard it. At the same time, the calm water suddenly surged. Leaf Fan looked around and was surprised. He saw that the water was densely packed with fish, scrambling to be first, as if they were fighting for a seat in the front row. Dragon Girl put down the short flute and looked at the fish excitedly. Look at them, how cute. She licked her lips, fat and big. They looked delicious. Towards this foodie, Leaf Fan was speechless. What song is this? Dragon song, Dragon Girl said. It can summon all things to worship. Awesome. You're not summoning all things to worship. You're looking for food to worship. It's more or less the same. Anyway, all things are food to me. Dragon Girl said casually. All right, you sit down peacefully. I'll continue fishing for you. Fishing is so slow. There's so many of them. Use a net to fish. What's the fun in that? Leaf Fan laughed at Dragon Girl. What's the fun in fishing? It's to catch those who are willing to take the bait. Crazy. Dragon Girl curled her lips and could only eat snacks to satisfy her hunger. Leaf Fan sat there calmly and continued fishing. Because the fish were basically gathered here, Leaf Fan fished very quickly. After a while, he caught 7 or 8 fish, and the fish gradually dispersed. In order to ensure efficiency, Dragon Girl once again played the dragon song. But this time, the water suddenly shook with a huge ripple, as if something terrible was approaching. Chapter 11:13. Dragon Girl suddenly starts to drool. She looks like she's craving for food. Delicious, delicious food is coming. Dragon Girl keeps shouting, Leaf Fan, Leaf Fan. Quick, catch it. As she speaks, the water surface starts to churn. Waves spread out as if something is coming. The surrounding fish scatter in panic. The movement on the lake's surface is getting louder and louder. Leaf Fan takes a step back. He feels the pressure. At this time, a huge carp jumps out of the water. This carp was at least 5 meters long, and its body was covered in thick scales, splashing sparkling and translucent water. Many small fish around it were dragged out of the water by its leap. This guy is the king of carps. Such a big guy, it must be the king of the lake. It must be delicious. Dragon Girl swallows her saliva. 100-year-old carp king must have delicious meat. No one knew who wanted to eat who, but the Carp King had already opened its huge mouth, aimed at Leaf Fan, and swallowed him. What imposing aura! Leaf Fan can't help but laugh. This kind of giant can only be seen by people attracted by the song of the dragon. The Carp King is already above Leaf Fan's head. Its black like Mount Tai is pressing down on him. There's still a hook in its mouth. It seems like it wants to swallow Li Fan along with the bait. Good. Li Fan holds the fishing rod. He infuses his chi into this ordinary fishing rod and strengthens the fishing line. He swings it hard. The Carp King's huge body is actually pulled by the small fishing hook and is swung up. A huge Carp King was spinning in circles in the air. Go back. Li Fan swings it hard again, throwing the huge Carp King back into the lake. Aya, why did you throw it back? Dragon Girl looks at Li Fan angrily. That was my lunch. Everything has a spirit, Li Fan explained, especially the Carp King who has lived for 100 years. Who knows, one day, he might be able to leap over the dragon gate and become a dragon. Nonsense. How could a low-level creature like a fish become a dragon? Dragon Girl was flustered. You are not filial to master. This is too much. It's because you, as a teacher, can eat too much. Li Fan was rather helpless. Besides, we're here to fish. If we get such a big fish, we'll be suspected. No, you have to compensate me. After we go back, add a box of instant noodles every day. Deal. The Dragon Lady agreed. The Carp King swam around the lake, looking at Li Fan with some reluctance. Li Fan glanced at the Carp King, and his aura suddenly erupted. The Carp King sensed Li Fan's strength and fled with the school of fishes. Look at you. You scared away all the fish. The Dragon Lady was very regretful. It's fine. Slowly fish. These are enough for you to roast for a while. Li Fan pointed to the bucket of fish. Eat slowly. If it's not enough, I'll help you fish more. Perform well. Master has high hopes for you. The Dragon Lady pulled a few branches and skewered a few fish. She placed them on the fire to roast. The seasonings that Li Fan brought were all used. The Dragon Lady had a strong taste, so she added a lot of salt and chili. The fire was not very strong, but when the Dragon Lady gently blew at the bonfire, the fire immediately burned brighter. Li Fan sat by the lake and caught a glimpse of this scene. However, he did not say anything. He only paid attention to it in his heart. The Dragon Lady still had many secrets waiting for him to slowly uncover. Soon, the fragrance of the roasted fish wafted into Li Fan's nose. It was said that gluttons usually knew how to cook. Li Fan believed it now. This Dragon Lady also knew some survival skills. Smelling the fragrance of the roasted fish, even he was a little hungry. How about it? Do you want one? The Dragon Lady asked proudly. If you can leave one for me, I'll thank the heavens and earth. Look at what you're saying. Am I that big of an eater? The Dragon Lady defended. I'm very restrained, okay. Every time I eat, I only eat until I'm 70% full. Li Fan did not know what to say. Come, this fish is the smallest. No, the meat is the most delicious. I'll leave it for you. The rest of the coarse skin and thick flesh can be handled by master. The Dragon Lady excitedly gave the smallest fish to Li Fan. Eat, don't stand on ceremony. Li Fan hung the fishing rod on the shore and picked up the roasted fish. He was indeed a little hungry. Let's eat first. Just as the two of them were about to start, two men in red robes walked over from the side. The moment the two of them came, they began to drive Li Fan and the Dragon Lady away. Hey, you two, this is a private area. You're not allowed to enter. Private area? Li Fan looked at the two of them puzzledly. Isn't this a barren mountain? Since when did it become a private area? You two must be from somewhere else. The red-robed man frowned. This area has been taken over by us. Outsiders are not allowed to enter. Can't you see the sign outside? Quickly leave. The other one rolled up his sleeves. If you don't leave, I'll beat you up. That brother was tall and strong, which was quite a deterrent. Fine, coming out of fish is too depressing. Li Fan sighed as he began to pack his things. Hurry up and scram. Less nonsense. The red-robed man walked over and kicked Li Fan's bucket. But at this moment, Li Fan suddenly grabbed his calf and pulled it down. The red-robed man lost his balance and fell in front of Li Fan. Li Fan grabbed the man's head with both hands and twisted it. With a crack, the man's head was twisted off. Before the other red-robed man could question him, Li Fan suddenly appeared in front of him and slapped him on the chin from bottom to top. Bam! The other party's head flew up from the slap, and his entire body flew up high. Li Fan grabbed his ankle and pulled him down. With a turn of his body, he used the force to smash the ground. Then, Li Fan jabbed his foot into his opponent's chest, bursting his heart. Is this your goal? While watching Li Fan kill people, the dragon girl who was eating fish said slowly, "You are really ruthless. You are merciless." From a moment they joined the devil cult, it was equivalent to them courting death. Li Fan was not polite at all. The devil cult should not exist in the first place. You are very decisive. The dragon girl nodded. As an imperial sword, sometimes you need to be ruthless. Thank you for the praise. Put on these clothes first. Li Fan took off their robes and threw one to the dragon girl. Put on. And this, put it on. This is the devil cult's token. These clothes are so ugly. Looking at the devil cult's uniform, the dragon girl curled her lips. Although it is ugly, with these two, it is foolproof. Chapter 11:14. In the past, Lu Zhu had talked to him about the demonic cult, and she said that it was huge and had a large number of people. There were 108 branches under the demonic cult, which corresponded to the previous 108 sections. In such a big place, it was impossible to memorize everyone. Hence, the only thing that could distinguish their identities was the waist tag. Li Fan picked up the waist tag in his hand and looked at it. It was written that he was from the King Kong clan. Luda was tall and burly, with a muscular body. After Li Fan put on his red robe, his body swelled up, and he activated the alien bone swap. Very quickly, his figure became exactly the same as Luda from before, rough and strong. The dragon girl was a little surprised. You really know how to change your form. It's just a small trick. It's not worth showing off. Li Fan pretended to be generous, causing the dragon girl to roll her eyes. This guy is deliberately mocking me. I'll teach him a lesson later. Both of them changed their clothes and walked towards the depths of the barren mountain. Li Fan instructed the dragon girl not to speak along the way and to pretend to be mute. Communication will be done by Li Fan. The dragon girl knew that it was an important matter, so she did not refute Li Fan. She had been quiet the whole way, not saying a single word. However, when no one was paying attention, she would secretly stuff snacks in her mouth. Li Fan could not do anything about that. After all, he was a foodie. Her eating standards were far beyond that of ordinary people. The two of them soon arrived at the deepest part of the bare mountain. Li Fan saw a row of huge tombs in the depths of the mountain. Tombs again? Li Fan thought of Liao Zhu's underground mausoleum and seemed to have understood something. It seemed that Li Wei and Liao Zhu had the same taste and liked to bring them to places with dead people. However, no one would be able to find them in such a tomb. They were too good at hiding. At the entrance of the tomb, there was an old man who was sitting in a small watchtower and listening to the radio. This person looked like a tomb keeper, but Li Fan knew very well that Zhu Bai was the devil cult's gatekeeper. Li Fan led Dragon Girl into the underground tomb. When Li Fan approached the watchtower, he was stopped by the old man. "Show me your waist tag." The old man went straight to the point and asked Li Fan and the others for their waist tokens. This thing was already prepared. Li Fan took out his waist token and showed it to the old man. "Go in." The old man reminded Li Fan. "Protector Song is about to hold a god's assembly. The two of you really came at the right time." "Protector Song?" Li Fan muttered to himself. "Isn't that Song Foya?" This traitor of the Valley of the Medicine Masters, the leader of the Yin Gate, was very diligent in his work. Li Fan and the Dragon Lady walked into the graveyard and stood in front of the largest tombstone. Li Fan picked up his waist tag and pressed on a gap in the tombstone. Then he twisted it. These were all explained in the message from the Phoenix King. This guy was very detailed. The coffin in front of the tombstone slowly opened, revealing a tunnel that led underground. He really knows how to do it. Li Fan could not help but click his tongue in wonder. Who would find out if a tunnel was built in such a place? This is an underground experimental base built by the island people. The Dragon Lady stretched her back and said slowly, How do you know? When they were building this, I was still awake." Dragon Girl pointed to the gloomy corridor. "Do you see this palm print on the corridor? Li Fan looked at it with the help of the weak light. Sure enough, there was a small palm print on the wall. This is? I left it behind back then, Dragon Girl said. Back then, there were a few island Onmyoji experts here. At that time, Wang Luo had just become Shang Feng's sword, so I brought him here to take a look. I suddenly feel like you're an old lady. Nonsense. Is there an old lady as beautiful as me? There's no old lady who can eat as much as you. Dragon Girl suddenly quietened down. Li Fan also did not say anything because the two of them felt the aura of outsiders. At the front of the corridor, a few Devil Sect disciples wearing red robes walked out. The few of them were chatting and laughing and did not notice Li Fan and the rest at all. But one of the brothers walking at the back suddenly put his hand on Li Fan's shoulder. Li Fan frowned and raised his true chi. Brother, you came back at the right time. The Poison Dragon Palace is holding a meeting, and Protector Song is personally organizing it. You're lucky, unlike us, who can only go outside to patrol. This song Fuya seemed to have a lot of prestige in the hearts of the disciples. May the true God bless you. The other party patted Li Fan's shoulder again. May the true God bless you. Li Fan hurriedly responded. This seemed to be a mantra of the Devil Sect. Only then did the other party leave. Li Fan heaved a sigh of relief. He was really a little interested in what this god assembly was for. Li Fan brought Dragon Girl and walked all the way into the depths of the underground base. As expected of the base dug by the Japanese back then, it was deep and long, and no one knew where it led to. The two of them walked all the way, and Dragon Girl seemed to be very familiar with the way. With this old driver leading the way, Li Fan also saved a lot of trouble. Soon, the two of them passed through the maze-like corridor and came to the hall of the underground base. Li Fan was a little shocked, because what appeared in front of him was a huge village. In front of him were streets that extended in all directions, and on the side were houses with green tiles and blue stones. People came and went in an endless stream. This place is really an underground graveyard? This is even more awesome than Liao Ju's place. Liao Ju's place was an underground palace. Although it was luxurious, it was not suitable for living. But this underground village was different. It was a little like the underground world of the Phoenix King, a country of its own. At the top, there was a row of incandescent lamps, which seemed to be a device similar to a small sun, providing sunlight for this underground village. And around the village, there were plantations and pastures, in addition to an underground river. It seemed to be self-sufficient and happy. Even Dragon Girl could not help but be shocked when she saw this. This place was simply an independent underground kingdom. Amazing. Li Fan sincerely praised. No wonder for so many years, no matter how the Orthodox sects tried to ban the devil cult, there was no way to completely exterminate them. In an underground world like this, they could completely live independently and even not go to the surface for a few years. The Poison Dragon Hall is over there. Dragon Girl looked to the side, then stretched out her hand and pointed. How do you know? Isn't it written on the sign? Li Fan took a look. Indeed, there was a road sign next to it that was the same as the one on the surface. The Poison Dragon Hall was on the right, and they should be able to reach it after walking down. Looking at the peddlers on the street, they also had everything they could think of: food, clothing, and everything else. Dragon Girl stood in front of a snack stall and could not move. She was forcibly dragged away by Li Fan. Chapter 11:15. The underground world is really not small. Li Fan and Dragon Girl walked towards the direction of the Poison Dragon Palace. There are many red-robed Devil Sect disciples in the surroundings who are also walking towards the Poison Dragon Palace. It seems that there are many people who want to participate in this so-called God's assembly, causing Li Fan to be somewhat curious. What was the purpose of this so-called God's assembly? Does Song Fuya really have that much power? I heard that even the Saintess will participate in this God's assembly. A Devil Sect disciple who is walking by the side says to his companion, "If I can see the Saintess' beautiful face, my life will be complete." How can you have that honor? The only one who can see the Saintess' beautiful face is the sect leader. Sigh, if only I have that honor. Hearing their words, Li Fan mutters in his heart, "Who is this Devil Sect Saintess? This is not the first time he has dealt with the devil sect, but he has never seen this so-called saintess. How does she look? Is she beautiful? Dragon Girl, don't talk nonsense when we go in. Dragon Girl nods her head. At this moment, she has become very obedient. Be obedient. I'll treat you to something delicious later. Li Fan follows the crowd and arrives in front of the Poison Dragon Palace. Even if the front was built by the Japanese in the past, the thing in front of him is definitely made by the devil sect themselves. In front of him is a huge building with a stone centipede crawling on it. The centipede's head is right at the position of the door. Its open fangs are the passage leading inside. Poison Dragon Palace. Is this so-called poison dragon a centipede? This poisonous creature is quite Song Fuya's style. This centipede looks delicious. Dragon Girl starts to swallow her saliva again. Damn, you even eat stone? I've eaten 9-winged centipede before. It's really delicious. Li Fan is especially helpless. This girl is unparalleled in terms of eating. Go in. Remember not to mess around. I know, so long-winded. Dragon Girl seems to be quite impatient. Li Fan no longer says anything as he enters the hall with the crowd. Inside the Poison Dragon Palace, there are statues of centipedes everywhere. These were all worshipped by the people in the sect as poison dragons, a symbol of protection. Song Fuya was wearing a long robe that looked like a centipede. She stood on the platform and looked at the followers below. Her gaze was deep, and from her expression, she seemed to have a bad feeling. After waiting for almost everyone to enter, she finally knocked the scepter in her hand and said loudly, "Everyone, thank you for coming to the Poison Dragon Temple. I'm sure all of you know why you've been gathered here." Song Fuya's voice became more serious. Recently, the Holy War Plan has swept the entire Jianghu. Even our holy church will not be able to escape this calamity. Everyone here is an inseparable part of our holy church. The Holy War Plan has already threatened the very foundation of our existence. Therefore, we must fight. As Song Fuya spoke, she looked at the side door. Because of this, the saintess came here to give us the blessings of the true God. Everyone became excited and looked in the direction of the side door. A woman in red with a veil slowly walked out from the door. Although they could not see clearly whether this woman was ugly or beautiful, the surrounding people all shouted excitedly, "Saintess! Saintess! Saintess!" These people shouted in unison, their voices filled with strength and anticipation. Li Fan could not help but shake his head. Faith was really scary. Under everyone's attention, the saintess walked to Song Fuya's side. Li Fan crossed his arms and looked for a long time. From the appearance of this woman, he could not see anything special about her. She wore a long robe and a veil. Whether her figure was good or bad, whether she was beautiful or ugly, it was all a mystery. How could a saintess who could not see her appearance be called a saintess? Li Fan muttered in his heart. She probably looked very ugly. These guys probably just randomly found a woman to be their spiritual faith. Devil sect is a devil sect after all. Without some spiritual support, they would not be able to survive in this underground world. Li Fan? Suddenly someone beside him transmitted his voice to Li Fan, causing Li Fan to be somewhat surprised. However, his face did not change as he looked at the red-robed man beside him. "Jiang Feng, what a coincidence. You are here too." "Sure enough, it is you." Jiang Feng seemed to be somewhat proud. "Sure enough, the smell on your body will not change. Don't you think you are a bit perverted?" Li Fan was quite speechless. Why did this guy smell his smell for no reason? He was indeed an extremely perverted man. It seems that this time we have the same goal. Jiang Feng continued to transmit his voice. "Did you see that saintess? I heard that the 9 Truths Essence technique is in her collection. You are so kind to tell me?" Li Fan looked at the stage, but his attention was placed on Jiang Feng. He could feel that Jiang Feng definitely did not have good intentions. This man did not even have a single hair on his head. He did not know when he would scheme against him. This devil sect is unfathomable. I do not know the depth of the saintess martial arts. I hope that you and I can cooperate. Since you want to cooperate, why don't you tell me some useful information first? Li Fan's eyes turned. how do you know that this is the Devil's Sect? Hee hee, the Devil's Sect's headquarters is no longer a secret. Jiang Feng smiled. Murong Villa have been investigating them for so many years and have finally made a breakthrough. This place is very well hidden. No wonder they have been hiding from us for so many years. Fuck, Li Fan cursed in his heart. So this news has already been known by Murong's family. Then this is not considered exclusive news. Phoenix King is really good at doing business. Murong Bo, that old fox, also wants the 9 Truths Essence technique. No, he is not interested in that. Jiang Feng actually told Li Fan very frankly, the one who is interested is me. Master did not know that I would come here. Do you want to share this book with me? Of course, our cooperation will definitely be very enjoyable. Jiang Feng seemed to have forgotten that he had just fought with Li Fan. His voice was filled with enthusiasm, as if Li Fan was still his third brother. It has been a long time since I drank with Big Brother. Us 3 brothers should have a good gathering one day. Li Fan, Jiang Feng, and the young master of Jin Clan's escort agency, Jin Zhou. The 3 of them were sworn brothers with different surnames. But ever since the Golden Escort selection, the 3 of them had not met each other. But Jiang Feng could say such words without any misgivings. He was really shameless. Second brother, you really can always surprise me. Li Fan chuckled. Then does third brother agree? I have not objected. Li Fan smiled without saying anything. Whether or not they would cooperate, he would observe first. Third brother is really cunning. Jiang Feng said again. There is no need to be so polite with an older brother. If there are difficulties, let us face them together. Just at this moment, Song Fuya suddenly spoke. Let the saintess choose a holy disciple to bless. Everyone's gaze once again landed on the saintess. Chapter 11:16. Choosing a person to bless was something that the saintess of the gods' assembly would do. For the saints of the devil cult, this was the highest honor, making them all excited, waiting for the selection of the saintess. This is a good opportunity. Jiang Feng's voice came into Li Fan's ears. If we can get close to the saintess, we might have a chance to get the 9 Truths Essential technique. We don't even know what kind of person the saintess is. How can we know who she wants to find? Li Fan was very doubtful. Let's see how lucky we are. Jiang Feng's voice was full of confidence. I don't know why, but I feel that the goddess of luck likes to be on my side. Then let's bet on our luck. Li Fan was also not sure, but for some reason, he always felt that the saintess seemed to be intentionally or unintentionally looking at him a few times. Okay, everyone has waited for a long time. Let's choose this lucky saint and then end this god's assembly. After that, under the leadership of Lord Sect Master, let us fight against the invading clowns of the Holy War. Song Fuya waved her hand, and the saintess walked forward. At this moment, a strange voice suddenly came from the crowd. Devil Cult Saintess, today you will die under our swords. With that, the 6 men suddenly threw off their red cloaks, revealing the black coats inside, jumped forward at the same time, and uniformly surrounded the saintess. Huh? Li Fan was a little surprised. These 6 brothers were very familiar. 6 swordsmen. Jiang Feng also frowned. I didn't expect them to be one step ahead of me, and have already arrived here. Your Murong Villa is really impatient. Li Fan decided to watch the show first. I hope it won't affect the plan. The 6 of them are really bold. Jiang Feng couldn't help but be unhappy. It seems that Murong Bo has already lost trust in me. But you don't seem to be worried at all. Li Fan glanced at Jiang Feng. This guy would not fight an unprepared battle. Thinking about how he had relied on number 1 to slaughter everyone, Li Fan felt that he must have a better backup plan. Saintess of the Devil's Sect die. The 6 swordsmen surrounded the saintess. Then, 6 black swords were unsheathed and shot towards the saintess. Shameless. Song Fuya immediately cursed. She waved her hand, and a sweet scent filled the air. Li Fan did not hesitate to wrap his body with his true qi, isolating himself from the fragrance. He placed his hand on Dragon Girl's body and felt that Dragon Girl had also used a special energy to protect her body. Jiang Feng also wore a strange mask. He seemed to know that Song Fuya was here, so he was prepared. The other disciples were also fine. It seemed that they had taken the corresponding antidote on a daily basis. The 6 swordsmen also stretched out their hands and put on gas masks. Song Fuya, do you think the 6 of us would come here rashly? No matter how powerful your poison is, it's useless if I can't absorb it. Damn it, who are the 6 of you? They're here to kill you. Today, the 6 of us will turn this place into a river of blood. With that, the 6 black swords shot towards the Saintess. The Saintess's martial arts did not seem to be very good. She hurriedly took a few steps back. The swords chased after her, as if they would not stop until they took her life. But at this moment, a few Devil Sect disciples suddenly jumped out. They were not afraid of death and used their bodies to block the swords for the Saintess. Puff, puff, puff. With a few muffled sounds, the 6 people's bodies were pierced. But they stretched out their hands and firmly grabbed the enemy's swords before they died. The Devil Sect is indeed terrifying. They are actually so fearless. The 6 swordsmen coldly snorted. They stretched out their hands, and the 6 swords broke free from the corpses and flew back, floating in front of them. The saints of the devil cult had already surrounded them, but the 6 of them were like cutting melons and vegetables, killing the saints around them until their flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Protect the Saintess, Song Fuya shouted. They were just shouting that they were all brothers, but now they were obviously using the Devil Sect disciples as cannon fodder. More holy disciples pounced towards the 6 swordsmen, stopping them in their tracks. The leader of the 6 swordsmen roared, "Second brother, third brother, you too kill the Devil Sect Saintess. The 4 of us will cover for you." Yes. 2 swordsmen pointed forward. 2 black swords immediately pierced through the layers of flesh and stabbed towards the Saintess, who was running away in a panic. Li Fan and Jiang Feng glanced at each other. Then both of them made their moves. Li Fan threw a stone while Jiang Feng secretly threw out a coin from his sleeve. The 2 swords that had pierced through 7 or 8 Devil Sect disciples suddenly bounced off in midair. With 2 clangs, they cut into the wall next to them. What? The 6 swordsmen were shocked. There was actually someone blocking their way. Who is it? The leader of the swordsmen roared. At this time, the black and white Impermanence Guardians had already rushed in with a group of Devil Sect elites. Protect the Saintess. The crowd roared as if they wanted to skin the 6 swordsmen alive. Ignore them. Chase after the Saintess. The 6 swordsmen followed the Saintess out from the side door. While Li Fan and Jiang Feng were squeezed by the crowd, they also rushed into the side door. Li Fan turned his head and realized that the dragon girl had disappeared. The frenzied crowd had already scattered the 2 of them. He couldn't care about the girl now. Anyway, she would be fine. No matter how powerful the 4 sacred beasts were, they would not be able to find this underground world in an instant. Good luck to you. Li Fan prayed for the dragon girl and chased after the Saintess in front of him. Jiang Feng was also here. Li Fan knew that it was time to race against time. He must not hesitate. The 2 of them followed the crowd and chased after the Saintess. At this time, the Saintess could not die. They must let her survive from the hands of the 6 swordsmen. These 6 swordsmen were also too much. Why were they chasing so closely? Were they not afraid that they would not be able to return after coming to this place? Morongbo was not stupid. He would not send people to die for nothing. In other words, Morongbo's people should already be outside, waiting to purge the Devil Sect's underground world. Li Fan felt a chill. This possibility was still possible. The most important thing now was to quickly find the Saintess and obtain the 9 Truth Secrets technique. He and Jiang Feng followed closely behind the Saintess and the others, one in front and one behind. The Saintess's escaping skills were top-notch. Although this underground world was connected in all directions, she clearly remembered every route. And the 6 swordsmen's lightness skills were also outstanding. They followed closely behind the Saintess, not letting her escape. And the holy disciples were indeed a motley crew. There were good and bad skills among them. Basically, most of them were left behind. Li Fan and Jiang Feng steadily chased after them, like a mantis stalking a cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Chapter 11:17. Very quickly, they came to a remote place. There was almost no one here. Only a lonely treasure hall sat at the side. They entered the treasure hall. Jiang Feng glanced at the direction of the treasure hall. The 6 swordsmen just happened to rush in. These 6 people's movement technique is quite good. Li Fan also saw it and exclaimed in admiration. Is this the time to praise the 6 of them? Jiang Feng could not help but look at Li Fan in disdain. Furthermore, how can the experts trained by Murong Villa be bad? Who does Murong Villa think they are? Li Fan curled his lips. Although they're little overlords, you cannot look down on Murong Villa. Jiang Feng intentionally reminded Li Fan, the #1 villa in the world, hidden dragons and crouching tigers, experts as numerous as the clouds. All right, whatever you say. Li Fan did not refute. His attention was on the treasure hall. It was unknown who this treasure hall was for. It was a bit shabby. It should have been built for a long time. Before the others could arrive, Li Fan and Jiang Feng rushed in together with them. The treasure hall was not small. There was a statue erected there. There were some incense sticks placed in front of it. The saintess stood in front of the statue, looking at the 6 men in front of her with vigilance. The 6 of you, how dare you barge into my demonic cult's sacred hall? The moment Li Fan and the rest entered, they heard the saintess scolding them. Sacred hall? So this is the true God's hall? Li Fan glanced at the huge statue and couldn't figure out what was going on. This statue was wearing a red robe. Its right hand was hanging by its leg. Its left hand was placed in front of it. There was a scroll attached to it. Saintess, you cannot escape. The 6 swordsmen sneered. Surrender. My demonic cult has tens of thousands of experts. They will be here soon. Just a bunch of mobs, and they can't save you. The 6 swordsmen were very pleased. There are reinforcements? The saintess suddenly realized. You despicable fellows, you dare to come here while the cult leader is not here. What cult leader? Just a small fry. The 6 swordsmen sneered. Demonic cult saintess, quickly hand over the 9 truths important technique. Otherwise go to the Yellow Springs Road and save a place for your cult leader. You wish. The saintess said while holding a beast head sword. This book, I will not give it to you. Seems like you are tired of living. The 6 swordsmen took out their swords, while the saintess suddenly shouted at Li and Li Fan. You two, come help me. The 6 swordsmen turned around and realized that there were 2 more devil cult disciples following them. He was a little surprised. Second bro, third bro, you 2 kill them. However, they did not take the 2 of them seriously. The 2nd and 3rd swordsmen immediately turned around and pointed their swords at Li Fan and Jiang Feng. The 2 swordsmen instantly turned around and pointed their swords at Li Fan and Jiang Feng. Li Fan used crane hand and slapped the sword away. Jiang Feng, on the other hand, raised 2 fingers and blocked the other sword. How can this be? The 2 swordsmen exclaimed in unison. Second, third, what are you doing? Why are you not doing anything? The 6 swordsmen turned around at the same time and realized that their 2 brothers were at a loss for what to do. They were immediately surprised. There is actually such an expert in the demonic cult? Get out of the sacred hall. Li Fan pretended to be a demonic cult disciple and leaped forward. He did not use any martial arts, just a simple eagle claw, grabbing the head of one of the 6 swordsmen. Seal him. The 6 swordsmen were all top experts. They released their 6 swords and locked them around Li Fan, trying to drain Li Fan's strength. But Li Fan had fought with these 6 swordsmen before and had already entered the realm of a generation's grandmaster. His body exploded with a circle of chi, causing the 6 swords to fly away. What? The 6 swordsmen trembled. They could not believe that such a thing would happen. This sword formation was a secret sword technique that could only be cultivated by 6 people with different bodies of one mind. But at this time, it was actually so easily broken. He is just a demonic cult disciple. Where did his chi come from? The 6 swordsmen could not believe their eyes. At this time, Jiang Feng appeared behind them. He no longer used his finger sword, but pulled out a sword from his waist and walked among the swordsmen. Damn it! The 6 swordsmen felt something was wrong. They immediately retracted their swords and blocked in front of them. Dang, dang, dang. Jiang Feng was already standing behind the 6 swordsmen with his sword in hand. The swords of the 6 swordsmen were all bounced away. A thin line of blood appeared on their necks. Blood sprayed out and splattered on the floor of the sacred hall. The 6 swordsmen all knelt on the floor with a thud. Their eyes were still filled with shock. Not only them, Li Fan was also somewhat surprised. This elegant sword technique was indeed quite powerful. When did Jiang Feng learn such a sword technique? But he felt that this sword technique seemed to be lacking something. Could it be that this was the reason why he wanted to obtain the 9 Truths technique? No one would reject becoming stronger, especially Jiang Feng and Li Fan. Although these 6 people are strong, they're a bunch of retards. Jiang Feng ridiculed. The Holy Maiden looked at the 2 of them and rolled her eyes. No one knew what she was thinking. The 2 of you have done well. The Holy Maiden suddenly opened her mouth and said to them, "But only one of you can receive my blessing. As for who is qualified, you could decide for yourselves." Li Fan and Jiang Feng were speechless. The 2 of them had shamelessly decided to join hands. This alliance was destroyed by the Holy Maiden's words in the blink of an eye. "Third brother, the friendship between us should be able to withstand the test, right?" Jiang Feng immediately said, "Why don't you give this opportunity to older brother?" "How can I do that? The Holy Maiden's blessing is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity." Li Fan grinned. "Why don't you wait for the next opportunity, second brother? Older brother is getting old and can't wait anymore." Jiang Feng sighed. "But we are as close as brothers. No matter which one of us gets the opportunity, it won't be a loss, right?" "That's right. Why don't you give it to me?" Li Fan would not give this opportunity to Jiang Feng. His purpose of coming here was to obtain the 9 Truths technique. Getting close to the Dragon Lady was his only chance. "Third brother, since this is the case, we can only compete." As Jiang Feng spoke, he had already appeared in front of Li Fan. At the same time, the sword in his hand had already slashed towards Li Fan's neck. Such a fast sword. Even with Li Fan's eyesight, he was not able to see it clearly. But the moment his opponent raised his hand, he had already used his sharp senses to take a step back. He almost stuck to the edge of the sword and hid behind it. The sword had already shaved off some of Li Fan's bangs. Chapter 11:18. As the saying goes, a scholar who has been away for 3 days will be looked at in a new light. Jiang Feng has only been away from Li Fan for a month, yet his strength has improved so much. It seems like he also had a fortuitous encounter. Li Fan reminded himself to not look down on the heroes of the world. "Third brother, I'm sorry. This opportunity is mine." Jiang Feng held his sword and kept attacking Li Fan. His shoulder did not move at all. It was hard to judge his sword style. It could be called the shadowless sword. Li Fan kept dodging. He relied on his intuition. Every time Jiang Feng attacked him, the hairs there would tremble, allowing Li Fan to prepare in advance. He trusted his intuition very much. Martial arts was like this. Intuition and thinking were equal parts, as expected of the little tyrant. Such powerful dodging techniques. Jiang Feng ridiculed, "Coward. I don't want to call you little tyrant in the future. Call me little bastard?" Li Fan did not fall for it. He knew that Jiang Feng was purposely trying to provoke him. Jiang Feng was good at all kinds of schemes. As long as he could win, he could use unconventional moves. Li Fan would not fall for it. As he dodged, he retorted, "But you still can't beat me. Then you are a man who is worse than a tortoise? Before you scold me, good second brother, you should take a piss and look at yourself. Third brother, you might not believe it, but the current me is stronger than you." Jiang Feng suddenly pulled out his sword. The sword chi instantly wrapped around Li Fan's body, sucking him in. Li Fan's red robe was shredded, revealing the sportswear he was wearing inside. "You're just a dog that relies on others to survive. How can you say such words?" Li Fan also took a horse stance and struck out a palm at Jiang Feng. Chilling palm. A powerful palm pressure exploded. Jiang Feng raised his sword and blocked in front of him. The palm wind collided with his sword chi. Jiang Feng's body was pushed back. He quickly steadied himself and stood up again. "Third brother." Before Jiang Feng could finish his sentence, he felt a sudden impact on the back of his neck. His vision went black, and he fainted, sprawled on the ground. "Follow me." The Saintess stood behind him and lowered her hand. "You." Li Fan was a little confused. What was going on? "Cut the crap. Hurry up and follow me." As the Saintess spoke, she turned around and walked into the depths of the temple. Li Fan felt a little strange, but the opportunity was right in front of him, and he could not let it go. Li Fan followed the Saintess into the depths of the temple. The two of them passed through a small hidden door and seemed to have arrived at a place similar to a secret room. Li Fan followed behind the Saintess. He felt that this Saintess was a little mysterious. "Why are you helping me?" Li Fan walked behind the Saintess. "Do you know me?" "Little Overlord Li Fan." How many people in the martial world don't know about him? The Saintess didn't even turn her head. She just walked ahead, but there was a hint of ridicule in her voice. "Since you know me, why are you still helping me?" Li Fan became vigilant, and the true qi in his body also rose. "Don't worry, I don't have any ill intentions towards you." The Saintess walked all the way to the front, but she encountered a dead end. She stretched out her hand and pressed a few times on the wall. A door slowly opened on the wall, and the Saintess walked in. Li Fan stood in front of the door, a little hesitant. "What? You don't dare to come in." The Saintess's voice reached Li Fan's ears. "Humph. Is there anything that I, the little Overlord, do not dare to do?" Li Fan felt that the Saintess was very mysterious. Regardless of whether it was good or bad, he had to go in and take a look. He wrapped his true qi and walked through the door. The moment he entered, he realized that it seemed to be a girl's room. There were pink decorations everywhere. The wallpaper was pink, the bed sheets were pink, and even the floor was decorated with pink. "Welcome. This is my room." The Saintess sat on the edge of the bed and patted the space beside her. "Come here." What is the blessing that you're talking about?" Li Fan suddenly felt a little nervous. Our omnipotent little Overlord is actually afraid as well? The Saintess covered her mouth and chuckled. "Please conduct yourself with dignity." Li Fan frowned. "I am not interested in women that I do not know." "Is that so? Then why would the famous little Overlord come to this little girl's room?" The Saintess crossed her arms and looked at Li Fan provocatively. "Then there is no need to talk nonsense." Li Fan raised his hand and walked toward the Saintess. "What? You want to kill me just because of a disagreement?" The Saintess raised her head and revealed her beautiful and clean neck. "Come, aim here. You can kill me in one move." Li Fan blinked his eyes. "What is going on? This woman is poisonous." "Come, kill me. Weren't you very powerful earlier?" The Saintess seemed to be provoking Li Fan. "You think I don't dare?" Li Fan was stunned. His fingers directly grabbed the Saintess's neck and locked it. As long as Li Fan was willing, he could easily break the Saintess's neck. "Kill me." The Saintess's voice did not contain the slightest bit of fear. "If you kill me, I want to see where you can find the 9 Truths secrets art." Li Fan frowned. This woman actually guessed his motive? "How did you know?" "Little Overlord, if you did not come here for the 9 Truths secrets art, could it be that you were trying to win my heart?" This woman seemed to be a little smart. "The 9 Truths secrets art is indeed here. However, can you let go of my neck?" The Saintess leisurely asked. "This is a little uncomfortable." "Oomph." Li Fan released the Saintess's neck. This woman was clearly very weak, and her life was in his hands. However, it was as if she was leading the way. He was truly unhappy. "Speak. Where is the 9 Truths secrets art? After all, it is the secret manual of our devil sect. Do you think you can just casually obtain it?" The Saintess rubbed her neck while looking at Li Fan with a smile in her eyes. "I have to pay a price, right? What do you want?" Li Fan raised his eyebrows. "Do you want money?" "I don't have much use for money." The Saintess reminded Li Fan. "Our devil sect is quite rich, and we are self-sufficient." "Then what do you want?" "The devil sect is in danger. I want you to help me chase these people away." The Saintess requested. "You are dreaming. That is impossible." Li Fan rejected her without hesitation. "Since that is the case, then let me and the 9 Truths secrets art disappear together." The Saintess sighed. I have hidden that book in the underground village, and I have to check it once every week. If I do not go, a week later, that book will be burnt to ashes by the mechanism. From then on, the secret regarding the martial god's true body will completely disappear from this world. You are threatening me. That's right. Chapter 11:19. Hearing the saintess's order, Leaf Fan frowned. This feeling of being used by others is really uncomfortable. How about it? This is our deal. The saintess said, you protect our Devil Sex headquarters, and I will use the 9 Truths secret technique as your reward. Little Overlord, aren't you a gold medal escort? How about it? Do you agree to this deal? That does sound like a deal. Leaf Fan pondered for a moment. However, if my martial art is exposed to them, I'm afraid it will be hard for me to survive in the future. Your reputation as a little overlord is not good to begin with. The saintess giggled. Now that things have come to a head, you have to cherish your feathers. In short, I don't want to be discovered. Leaf Fan said straightforwardly, this is my bottom line. You can use this. As the saintess spoke, she took out the beast head sword and handed it to Leaf Fan. Leaf Fan took it and looked at it carefully. He was somewhat surprised. 4-elephant sword? Why do you have it? Since it belongs to our devil sect, I'll lend it to you for the time being. The saintess pointed at the sword. With this, they won't be able to discover your identity, right? That's a good idea, but I have a feeling that I'm being schemed against. Leaf Fan took the 4-elephant sword, feeling somewhat unhappy in his heart. How can that be? This is a business deal. The saintess emphasized, you are the escort of our company, and we are your clients. Furthermore, we can perfectly conceal our identity. Isn't this a perfect thing? How did you scheme so perfectly? Leaf Fan asked. This is not a scheme. I'm obviously helping you think of a solution. The saintess immediately said, I helped you solve your problem. Shouldn't you be thanking me for being such a good client? Leaf Fan silently held the 4-elephant sword. If you violate the contract, I will definitely massacre your devil sect. Don't worry, you're my insurance. I won't betray you. Without the slightest hesitation, the saintess stood up and walked in front of Leaf Fan, staring into his eyes. The oath I made with you. If you save my devil cult, I'll give you the 9 Truths important technique. If I tell even half a lie, may the great true God grant me a death riddled with thousands of holes. There's no time to lose. Let's go. Leaf Fan did not want to waste any more time. The most important thing now was to disperse those who came to attack the devil cult, and then take away the Jiuzhen Yao Shu. This way. Instead of following the previous path, the holy maiden pressed a button at the head of the bed. The bed slowly opened, revealing a path underground. You guys, can you hide people everywhere? In order to hide from the enemy, our holy church has dug many tunnels. As the holy maiden walked into the tunnel, she explained, you know how despicable those people from the righteous path are. There are so many kind-hearted people in our saints sect, but we are often bullied by them. So, we can only build these tunnels to protect ourselves. This fuck, Leaf Fan, does not know how to vomit. Although there are many bad people in the righteous path, are the people from the devil cult kind? That would be too much. Especially this cunning holy maiden. She is not a good person. Where's your sect leader? Where did he go at such a crucial time? Leaf Fan is feeling a bit bored as he walks in the tunnel in the dark, so he casually asks. The great sect leader has a lot of things to do. The tunnel in front is even darker. The holy maiden takes out a fire starter and lights a torch on the wall beside her, holding it in her hand. The faint light from the fire illuminated her body. Leaf Fan feels that this holy maiden seems to be smiling. Believe me, you don't want to see him. In your heart, is he that strong? No matter where he is very strong. The holy maiden warns Leaf Fan. His heavenly devil technique has already been trained to the 8th level. When he reaches the 9th level, he will be invincible in the world. There are many strong people in this world. Leaf Fan does not believe the holy maiden's words. Also, what kind of technique is the heavenly devil technique? This is a technique created by our sect leader. The holy maiden is somewhat proud. Sect leader has fused 108 devil techniques. learning from each other's strengths to make up for his weaknesses, and finally fuse them into this heavenly devil technique. Heavenly devil technique, sect leader Tan Tian. Li Fan smiles. Your sect leader is quite narcissistic. In short, you better not meet him. The holy maiden holds the torch and walks in front, as if her torch can not only dispel the darkness, but also dispel the dampness in the cave. I know you are very strong, but I do not wish for you to die. What? Li Fan didn't understand, but the saintess pointed forward. The exit is in front. The holy maiden brings Li Fan to the exit. In front of them is a huge stone door. The holy maiden reaches out her hand and pushes the stone door. No, it's a bit heavy. The holy maiden sighs. It seems that us girls are not strong enough. Let me do it. Li Fan knows that this girl is waiting for him to do it. He walks to the front, stretches out a hand, and pushes the stone door with a little force. The sunlight shines in through the gap, and it is somewhat dazzling. Li Fan pushes the door open completely, and the light instantly illuminates the dark tunnel. The sunlight is not bad. The holy maiden gently covers her brows with her hand, blocking the sunlight. I really hope that one day I can also live under such sunlight. Then we can just move to the surface and live. The true God will fulfill our wish. The holy maiden's eyes are filled with devotion. Since that is the case, why don't you look for your true God for help, but come to me instead? Li Fan asks. I did. The holy maiden smiles. It is the true God who sent you to me. Li Fan is very speechless, not knowing how to explain this. This is a fucking coincidence. Who would know that he and the people from Murong Villa collide and actually arrive at this place at the same time? You see, this is the true God's will. The holy maiden seems to see that Li Fan is somewhat displeased and adds, of course, it is also the God of armed escort's will. For the sake of business, I will not lower myself to your level. Li Fan takes 2 deep breaths, adjusting his emotions. At this time, there are more and more people outside. Many hatchet men in Murong Villa uniforms, all carrying swords, walk toward the direction of the devil cult's main gate. And not only them, Li Fan sees more hatchet men approaching. People from the Sima family? Li Fan sees familiar uniforms. North Murong, South Sima, are they all here now? No. Li Fan sees people from 2 other families. One is wearing yellow robe, the other is wearing a red coat, and the other is wearing a horse and a white monkey respectively. Ma family and Ho family? Other than the 2 big families in the north and south, there are 2 other big families in the Jianghu, slightly inferior, East Ma and West Ho. It seems at this time, Murong family plans to uproot the entire devil cult. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.